Welcome to the Entertainment Rants podcast, your number one source for all things entertainment. Join host Marco Mazzola and his fellow ranters as they sound off on the latest movies, TV, and the world of entertainment. Now, here are your ranters for the hour, Marco, Mila, Larry, and Bruno.
Wow, hello everybody and welcome to the Entertainment Rants podcast. I am as always your host, Marco Mazzola, and here we are again. 2025 is upon us. We got all the ranters in the house. Hello, Bruno.
Hey,
what's up? No quotes. 2025 is different for Bruno.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
There's no
what
opening
is
quotes
this?
for Bruno. Just hi.
Just hey.
I gotta say I miss the old Bruno. All right, hi Mila.
Hey.
Hey. Hey Larry.
Hey.
Okay.
That's always my thing, though.
I know.
I did
At least
something
you
a little
got
different every time.
consistency. I don't like this jamoke over here.
Oh, man.
Hi,
I need a
guys.
quote, Bruno. Should we start this over again? Let me just do this one more time. Just kidding. Let's do this one more time. Start this bitch over. All right, gang. We are here today, second episode of 2025. And what if we talk about season 3 of What If? What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, what if I could get all that time back?
What if you could? But you're not gonna.
Yeah.
So let's talk about it and let's see why. So I'm going to start this one out. As Larry said, we sucked a big dick on season 1. He was
loved it.
sad he
It
wasn't
was
here
cool.
for it.
It was unique.
Season 2, I had a mid reaction to. It was some good parts, some middle parts. Season 3, I mostly enjoyed. Enjoyed.
Did you?
Yeah,
Mostly?
I mostly enjoyed the
Mostly?
season.
Mostly is
didn't
crazy to me.
Yeah, it didn't blow my dick off, but like the Howard the Duck episode was fucking stupid.
Yeah, but that
was the absolute low point.
That's an easy throwaway. But, like,
Yo,
the other
they
episodes...
didn't just throw it away. They shat on it before they threw it away.
The Hulk episode was just Pacific Rim.
That was
Fucking,
I was like,
I get it.
Godzilla.
Red Guard was, like, fucking a buddy comedy.
Yeah.
You know,
That's the point.
Fuck off.
But
Get off my notes.
I hate that they keep trying
He's a
to
computer
push
guy. You
Red
know he already
Guardian like
covers your
he's
notes.
funny.
Yeah.
Ever since Black Widow when he first shows up, I've hated his character.
Oh, yeah.
He's never been funny.
And they
I've
turned
never liked
Bucky
him.
into an idiot. They were
I
like,
think,
Bucky,
it's
he's a dummy.
bad.
But in that universe, maybe he
talking
is.
Yeah, and they totally changed his character just to compliment Red Guardian's amazing humor. Like, what is this?
So what I feel, and this is just a feeling, I feel
I'm sensing some
like
hostility.
we're kind of missing the purpose of What If. Right?
No.
You're seeing these characters and they're in different universes, so they are in fact different. Sometimes the person who is a different person. Different person became this character.
You can be an idiot in that,
that particular universe, he's a moron.
For me,
and you see like the flashes.
Why did Agatha need to be in Hollywood to summon all the power she needed? That made no sense whatsoever.
Wasn't she
she
trying
wanted
to
to be an
attract
actress.
what's his name?
No,
she was
she
trying to
did
get
that
the-
after the. She did after the fact.
She needed him because of his power.
Right.
but
But
she
he
only knew that.
was an actor. He had been
But
like
she
in
only
theater
knew
and
she
actor his
needed
whole
him.
life on Earth.
She only knew she needed him after she failed at getting it done herself. I don't see any reason, magically, that she needed to have it be a Hollywood production. I don't know. I just thought it was.
So was she trying?
So
I get
bad.
what you're saying. Was at the beginning? Like even Stark, they were kind of like, oh, she's doing all this cool stuff and it's production, but then they find out, oh shit, she's actually magical.
No,
he knew about it.
he knew.
He
He
knew
said
the
he
whole
knew the
time.
whole time.
He was like, I knew
Did
the
he?
whole
I
time.
didn't
Yeah, he
know.
did.
I thought he
halfway
suspected.
through the episode. It's
I think the line was
Magic costs less
I didn't want
than-
to spend the
yeah,
money
real
on
magic
that
costs
effects.
less than visual effects.
In the meantime-
Actually, you're not gonna make me hate the season, so knock it
In
off.
the meantime, nobody else in the production seemed to notice or care that they were firing energy shots at each other, floating in the air, and throwing each other 80 feet across the room.
I felt so.
You know,
I was
it's
worried
just
for
movie
the
magic.
dancers.
This
I'm
works.
does
It's movie
no one
magic.
give a shit about the dancers? They're gonna die.
They're throwaways.
They're like, who cares about them?
Can't make an omelet.
Normies.
You can't make an
So, all
omelet.
right. So
This is not a battleground. This
They're
is a
just pawns.
set.
You
Wait,
throw away
wait,
the
Breaking
pawns.
a few
let me
dancers.
rope everything in real quick. First of all,
This is Entertainment Rants. Nobody ropes anything.
are we gonna go episode by episode, or just throw all the episodes up in the air?
I think we should go episode by
Throw them all
episode.
up in the
Or
air.
that's
We'll be here
that's
all
what I'm
day.
trying to figure out.
This will be a 4-hour
Because
episode.
I've got so much about every episode
One of my
that I
bi-
just fucking hate.
One of my biggest things about What If is the original idea of What If was we're going to take something from a story that's already happened.
Yes. I know where
And
you're going. I
what
agree.
if that didn't happen? Or what if this, for instance,
Thank you.
what if Uncle Ben doesn't die?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does Peter Parker still play out? Does the whole Spider-Man still play out?
Yeah.
On this,
Yeah.
there was none of that.
Nothing. Just
Nothing
fully
ever.
fucking
The
made up.
only in this whole series, it was barely touched upon, except for like maybe the first episode was what if Steven Rogers didn't get it? Instead, it was Peggy Carter who got the super serum.
Yeah.
Which again, everything plays out the same exact way. It's just now Captain Carter instead of Captain America.
Yeah. Which is fine.
Which is fine. But this whole series for me was it's not a what if. It's not.
It is. It's just a what if storyline.
No.
But
it's
wait.
not.
Let me finish. The what if comics were one-offs.
Right.
They didn't do one-offs. They made an entire story
But this
arc
isn't
over
even-
3
Yeah, but Larry's
seasons.
saying
hold
you
on,
changed the premise.
It's
Yeah. To make
Okay,
a series.
so
that's what you didn't like. They weren't just one each individual episode, or just each individual episode.
No, it wasn't. It's not even that. This isn't what ifs. This is, hey, in this universe this happened.
This
in
is
universe,
imagine
this
if.
happened. Yeah, this is like imagine if.
That's right.
It's
That's a
This
really
isn't
good
what if.
distinction.
This is
it's
imagine
taken away
if.
from the presence of the what if.
That's
It's
a great
what if
distinction.
Wolverine didn't get adamantium. That
Yeah,
isn't
yeah, I
what
get
if.
what you're saying.
This isn't a what if. This is, hey, in this other universe, or in that universe, in this universe, in that universe, they made it the multiverse so it could correlate with the canon
movies.
shit.
Yeah.
So I wish that instead of calling it the fucking what if, they gave it a different name.
Yeah, but they're not going to, only because the what if is a known property that Marvel owns.
No, but
They probably had that fucking copywritten, to be honest with you, the way if, you know what I mean?
So,
Fucking shit.
Marco, I think from what I'm getting, and these guys, it sounds like they feel the same way I do, is that they veered so far off the concept of what if, and they did exactly what Mila said. It became imagine if, and they created 10 episodes, 10 episodes?
8 episodes.
8
8
episodes
episodes per season, yeah.
8 episodes of, no, the third season was 8 episodes of just like a whole storyline that maybe this could have happened in some other universe. Like in the, was it the second to last episode where Riri Williams,
Very, yeah.
who the hell was she in
She's
in Marvel?
Ironheart. She's Ironheart. She is the predecessor right now for Iron Man. She's a genius who creates Iron Man armor based on his tech, and she's a real character in Marvel. Like,
Is that true?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
She's been a
All right.
character for a long
Because the
time.
whole time I was like, who is this person?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But like none of that. It wasn't even.
She showed up, didn't she? She showed up
No.
in.
No, I don't.
No,
remember
she was.
seeing her.
Was
What
she
are you
the-
asking?
No, the real person in the movies. She was in one of the
She was
last
in Wakanda.
Movies?
Huh?
She was in Black Panther 2.
Yeah.
She was.
Oh, that's why I didn't see that movie.
Yeah. She was the girl in the high school and in the college.
She went to MIT. They filmed in Cambridge.
Yeah. That was
I don't
her.
remember that piece.
That
I
was
guess.
her.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
Black Panther too, because
Yeah.
I didn't. I got
Yeah,
through
I
the
didn't
first
see
hour.
that.
She's in the
I got through like
warehouse.
the first
They
20
chased her
minutes.
to
I
the
was like,
warehouse.
I can't watch this.
They chased her to the warehouse. All
It's
that.
too slow.
Yeah.
It was really slow.
Yeah, so she's Ironheart. She's actually
Okay.
in. Yeah, so
All
she's
right.
Hopefully
in
3 is
the.
better.
Okay, so that's on me. But like, I just felt like this whole thing wasn't exactly what Larry was saying. It was, let's take something that we know happened for canon. Let's say it didn't happen that way. Let's have it happen some other way. Let's say, Thanos didn't get all the stones or whatever. They succeeded in killing him. Or just, it's not what if. It's a totally different thing. And
It's just new stories.
it's just
Yeah.
just a bunch of
Yes.
stories
I agree with that.
you're not tied to, right?
Yeah.
The what if, like you're taking a story that you love, one that you're invested in, it's a really good story, I like it for whatever reason, and I'm going to change it. Let's see what would have happened. And then you're like, cool, how did this other version of the story pan out?
Yeah, it's still the same story.
Yeah, but this wasn't that. This was just like, we're going to throw a new fucking whole season at you. And it wasn't even
I get
very
what you're
good.
saying. I'm not disputing what you're saying. I'm thinking for what they needed to do to create this series, to make it part of the canon and to further the multiverse story, just basically to expand on the multiverse, which hopefully after Doomsday and all that stuff is going away. They used what if, and you're right, it's not necessarily what if, it is literally this is what happened in another universe. That's literally what happened. The Watcher is, Awatu is watching over this whole thing. So that's what ties it all together. It's him literally looking through the multiverse and seeing how other things played out.
If they called
similar,
it
like,
the
this
Watcher instead of what if, I would have been much more.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been better.
The Watcher.
Yeah,
Ooh,
this is a
For
story.
me,
But I
This
mean,
is
the
a story.
original What If comics were essentially that. They were, right, you have your main sacred timeline. Your main timeline, the what ifs were, okay, what if Wolverine doesn't get the adamantium? That did happen in another universe. They can't tie, they want to write these stories, but you can't make it in the main timeline right? So you have to put it into a different timeline, a different universe, a different something happened. And that's essentially what it is. That was a multiverse. The What If comics were a multiverse story. They just didn't really talk about the multiverse at that point, so they weren't really explaining. But essentially, that's what happened. This happened in this universe because we can't make it our main universe.
But I don't think they actually ever did it as a quote unquote multiverse.
And that's only because I don't know if they had explained the multiverse when they started those What If
they
comics.
adapted What If to the multiverse concept.
Yeah.
In the What If comics, what Larry's saying is they didn't have a multiverse.
There was no multiverse. It was literally
Right, because the
like
What
you
If
said, it was
comics
just a
started.
one-off. That's all it was.
Yeah.
The What If comics
It happened
started
in like late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah, the
something
What
like
If comics started before they really introduced a multiverse.
Yeah, they
The multiverse didn't
because
really happen until basically
after DC
Endgame.
did it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
DC really started the
did it.
multiverse stuff a long time ago, and then Marvel kind of fell suit onto it. Like, oh yeah, that's kind of cool.
Because they wanted to create
we can
different
make a
stories.
continuity of our other stories that we've been telling for years via
Yeah.
What If, right? That shit happened in all the universes.
So let's accept that for a minute, right? And talk about like each of these episodes and why they were so bad.
Yeah.
The first one was the Hulk one.
The first one fucking pissed me off.
I hated it.
was terrible.
Yeah, Voltron.
Yeah, well, we had Voltron. Yeah, we created Voltron, but there's
done.
bigger
Yeah,
issues.
Next episode.
What did the Hulk do? He blasts himself with gamma ray, and the first time he does it, he emits a fucking evil being. But the second
it
time,
splits and it creates a game of monster.
Some
game of monster.
uber
But the
kaiju.
second time he blasted himself with it, he just became a kaiju monster himself. Became Godzilla. Like. So it didn't even do
It was
the
a
same
combo.
thing.
He wasn't just Godzilla. He was a Godzilla that merged with a turtle.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Godzilla Gamera.
So I looked at it. I was like, oh, cool.
Gamzilla.
But none of that fucking shit added up. And then like
I hated that he just looked like Godzilla. I was like, what the fuck?
It was
What?
terrible. A mile away.
It was terrible.
So
It was such a throwaway.
hell.
And then they did the
Terrible.
atomic bomb too, so it's like, oh, it's just Godzilla.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
and then
not
you're
even the
telling
Hulk.
me that five
Just vaguely-
super Avengers like Thor and those guys got killed in the first war,
Yeah.
but then like these three nobodies.
No,
Who the
yeah.
fuck are these?
Ant-Man
Moon
or
Knight was
whatever
one
it
of
was.
them.
Yeah, but like
Moon Knight was one of them.
Yeah.
He was.
but these three nobodies made
still-
it. They
still wait-
they
Yeah,
beat them.
yeah.
You've got a fucking god. Thor's a fucking god, but he couldn't handle it. But you're telling me this woman
Like
who's
fucking
or this
Ant-Man.
guy.
That's 'cause
who are
they
just
have this
fucking
cool
pilots.
mech suit
They're
now.
human
I was gonna say, wait a
pilots.
minute, yeah. He doesn't even have fucking superpowers, by the way.
Yeah.
Captain America has no
No.
superpowers. He's fucking Batman.
Yeah, no, he's powerful. He's,
No,
he's
he
like
has- he has,
strong.
like,
He's like super
endurance
strong.
and
No, he's not.
No,
Yeah,
Captain
he's not.
America, but not Sam Wilson.
Sam
Oh,
Wilson's
not
not
strong.
strong.
Yeah, no,
Regular
he's just
fucking-
Agreed.
he's just a
Regular
dude.
I know
guy.
why they
Yes.
did that. They only did that because of the movie coming out. Captain
I
America
know that.
4 is
I
coming
know,
out, so they're just
honestly,
trying
yeah.
to tie it together and like,
Yeah, of course, of
isn't
course,
he
of course.
cool?
But that's
Go
my
watch the
point.
movie
Like,
because they're
these
desperately
three
trying to get people to go watch the
normal
movie.
humans.
Well, that's what they did with
managed to
the
do it.
Ironheart episode
No
too.
powers.
And then Bruce Banner was locked away for years. How did he know there were 5 bots that could be joined together into Voltron?
got a
He's the one who created
Yeah,
that,
he
though.
created them.
Oh, he
designed them.
created them?
Yeah.
But
His
like,
items,
no,
they
like
just-
no testing.
Watch
Like,
the
I
episode.
appreciate that in the show they're like, wait, this hasn't been tested.
It was like
What the
6
fuck?
a.m.
Well, they did
What
the
if
same
it
thing
goes
with the Warrior
sideways?
episode against Vision. It's like, I got 7 minutes to put this shit together.
Yeah,
I
you
can't even get a murder in 7 minutes.
Get off my
7
nose.
minutes.
Get
Done.
out of my nose.
Maybe I have a brain too,
That's one of
Larry.
my. No, I just have a lot of.
I don't use it
I
that
have a ton
often,
of
but
those.
it's there.
How long do you need to make that? About
12 hours.
12 hours. You have 76
Make it
minutes.
7 minutes.
Done.
Oh, okay
And
then.
if I just bang it, put it up,
Yeah.
I can
hit it
hour and
really
a half to
hard.
7 minutes, just get it a good bang.
Oh, we're gonna hit it with a plot screwdriver.
You know the amount of times I was watching this and I was like, please, I hope they die.
Yeah.
Was
Yes.
actually insane. I was like, God, I hope it doesn't work. God, I hope she gets killed.
love this
Like, and I
show.
go, she lived.
Dude, I love this show. I love this show just for what it's doing to you people. I love this show.
I
It's
also-
creating so much
something-
violent hate and
something
energy.
that just pisses
I fucking
me off.
love it.
About like Marvel
so
right
much
now
shit writing.
is the humor. I don't know. It makes my skin crawl. The Marvel humor literally makes my skin crawl. It's
Like
like
what?
the easiest
Like
jokes
what?
that you can make.
Oh, yeah,
they
so
make
I-
them. If it's something I can predict before you say it and you say it every single time.
Yeah.
It's a joke at this
Can we
point.
talk
and
about
not
the
a funny
voice
one.
acting that was done? I felt like
Which one?
Garofalo's. He just wasn't even. He was like a husk of a person. Like his. I didn't even realize it was him until I was like, is that Ruffalo? Is that not Garofalo, but Ruffalo?
Ruffalo, yeah.
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 I was like, he sounds like he doesn't want to be in the studio recording this thing. Like it just.
They might not have been. He might have been at home.
Really,
but you know what? Though I think that
he was like, oh fuck, I signed this contract.
You know what it is? I think with him specifically, because I get those vibes every couple of times too. That's just him. That's how he sounds. But you need his facial expressions to match it.
Okay.
So when you see him, because I've seen him I've seen him in other movies. And it's like that's just him, right?
Yeah, but he was in season 1.
Right.
I didn't feel like that was the same.
I wonder if he's gotten because it seems like even publicly he's gotten a little bit more pissy about the Marvel stuff and the fact that they can't do a standalone Hulk movie, so he's not getting as much out of it as he wanted to.
They fucked over the Hulk
and they've fucked over the Hulk. They've dwarfed the Hulk so many times, and I think he's just kind of this is not going where I wanted to go.
Yeah.
And I'm contracted. I'm still going to do this shit.
Well, then they made him Smart Hulk.
It's frustrating because in the comics, the Hulk is such a deep and interesting character. And they literally just shat on that every single time he's ever been on screen. Yeah. He's had during just before the first Avengers or the first Avengers and before, he had a lot of really good moments, but after that they just totally let his character go.
Yeah, because
they're and the Hulk. I guess
because it's because they can't really do too much with him yet because they don't own all.
Don't they now?
I feel like it's too late now.
No, I think
now they're doing a bunch of other shit.
Now it's just not worth it. I don't think it's worth it for
you can't expound upon his character.
Unless they do the World War Hulk, which is going to come out
that's too much.
Honest question: who would be interested in seeing a Hulk movie now? I don't know.
Because now they've branded him as the least interesting Avenger.
I would have at the beginning if they were going to use that Hulk, but not the current version of the Hulk they have now. I would not care to watch it.
It would be boring.
It would be absolutely boring.
It's just too late for the character.
No, if they did it after the first Avengers movie or something like that, and he was that Hulk, but not the Hulk they have now.
They
and the
gave
Hulk
Black
itself,
Widow a
visually,
movie after
he's
she
so
died.
nerfed. It's ridiculous. If you watch the Eric Bana version, he's gigantic.
I love that.
Even
I like the
Ed Norton one. He's a little smaller than the Bana version, but this one he's he's a step above Ferrigno. He's not that much bigger. He's not that much bigger.
The Bana version was really good.
I like that, and even the Ed Norton version too. I liked.
Yeah, he was good.
I liked those. Yeah.
Too bad Ed Norton nobody can work with him.
Yeah, he's an asshat.
Yeah.
What a pity.
He always
Good actor.
great grandson. He's related to the guy who created Faneuil Hall.
Seriously?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
He's a real estate magnate who basically was famous for building big buildings and retail establishments, and he built he designed Faneuil Hall, the marketplace, and that was his great grandpa some fucking thing. Yeah.
What a fun fact.
So that was the first episode. Second episode was Agatha Goes to Hollywood.
That was fucking.
That was interesting.
Are they really trying to? Was it?
Well, all right, hold on. When I say interesting, I mean there was a couple of scenes that caught my eye and were visually cool to look at.
Visually cool. All right.
But other than that, I was like.
It was a terrible fucking premise. Okay, she wants to get
premise
the power.
That didn't make any sense. Visually, a little visually interesting.
But which I thought it was fun. Totally Agatha-like, so that was good.
Yeah,
it was okay.
She didn't need to make it a Hollywood production. That was weird. And then in the middle of the whole production, they're flying around and shooting each other, and nobody gives a shit. And then she gets all the power, and she's just the power of the universe. Celestial. They're both magic beings, but they have a punching fight in the universe. That was fucking weird. And then at the end of it, somehow
you have a passion for acting.
He talks her into not commanding the world, right? So, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna be an actress. I'm just gonna be an actress. It was in every aspect. I was like, what? Were you drunk when you wrote this?
Yes, they must have been.
So one of the things I wrote down was, so this is how they make the Eternals relevant?
Right? This was the big moment.
Because they bring up the Eternals a couple times.
Yeah, they had to, and then they kill them all off except for the one.
But they don't need to fucking bring up the Eternals. Fuck the Eternals. Fuck that
I think they only did that because of the Celestials. They had to, you always, when you have the Celestials in the universe, you have to turn the Eternals into, if the Celestials are there, you have to tell why the Eternals aren't there to stop them.
So are the Titans. Bring the Titans on. Fuck the Eternals. That was so stupid.
It was bad.
Well, they do kind of appear a couple of times in the series.
I don't blame them for bringing back the Eternals as a concept for a what if episode. I'm like, oh look, who gives a shit?
No, that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, that's
I get 33 minutes on them. That's all I need.
I'm gonna die on.
Yeah.
There's so many other.
That episode sucked. Episode 3 was the what if the Red Guardian stopped the Winter Soldier?
Again, I can't.
It was
not funny.
Louise.
I hate the Red Guardian. I think he's such an unfunny, and it was just.
I kind of think you're almost meant to, like, you understand that he's comic relief that's not funny. Like,
yeah, but he's not funny though.
That's the low-hanging fruit you were talking about.
Yes, his whole character's low-hanging fruit,
super
and it's not
tropey.
funny.
They stole the car from that douchebag, that tropey douchebag guy. I was like, come on, man. Write a better fucking character.
Also, this episode for me felt so weird as like a Soviet U.S. thing.
Yeah.
It was like,
commentary,
but thank God we're in the great country of America. I'm like, what's happening right now?
It was one long 33-minute political statement.
Yeah, it was like it just felt weird to me the whole episode.
Hollywood, you know, when it's typical Hollywood.
And I was like, now you're doing that now?
Throw some political shade. You know what I mean? It's
but I feel
you're
like
doing the Soviet U.S. thing now.
Well, I guess don't forget when that was supposed to take place.
Well, it was the 90s, and that was like
the 80s.
Oh no, it's set in the year that is that the Stark family was dead, and he killed them in like 91 or something.
Fuck.
So that was in the 90s.
So 91, yeah. Just that whole episode that sucked.
It was
stupid.
It was bad. I mean, again,
So
more bad.
bad.
also I hated that they made him a buddy cop. I get that it's like a different universe where he's like
I thought it was awesome.
open to being
I thought it was great.
interesting.
I can't stand Red Guardian, but I thought that was funny as shit. I just love buddy cop movies. So
At
like,
least
I just had fun.
at least there's
I had
one of
fun.
us.
I had fun watching these, except for the Howard the Duck one. Like
buddy
really
cop
fucking.
movies are fine.
Yeah.
Winter Soldier is not a buddy cop.
But it's a what if.
He's not a buddy cop, though.
He's not. He's not. In this universe, he was.
Oh man.
Just like when you saw Doctor Strange, and I know we didn't like Multiverse of Madness, but there's a fucking multiverse where they're just made out of paint. Like and anything is possible in the what if in the multiverse. Anything.
Shitty
But some things are
zillions of versions of
just
one
don't highlight
person.
those. Right?
Shitty
Some things
writing.
are bad, just don't highlight them.
Well, that was you needed something different enough. What are you gonna do? Just
Is it the Red
same?
Guardian that's gonna make him in a better mood though? I don't know.
He just annoy the shit out of you, but like
I feel like there's other characters that would
he would
bring
just
him
annoy
to more
me.
like
He would just annoy
pushy.
me. Slam his head off the steering wheel, knock it off. But just take my strong arm, boom.
Yeah.
But like no, and I get it. But at some point, you have to make Winter Soldier different. Like he's always the quiet, reserved, fucking badass
Find
killer.
a better character to do
You're
that.
just gonna
to him,
do, you gotta make
It's
something
not
that's
Red
drastic
Guardian.
enough for a change.
I mean,
Otherwise, it's not much
hold
of a
on.
change.
Didn't we already watch this? It was called The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Didn't we already see this?
That was much better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
We've
little
already
buddy
seen
cop
this.
is-
Again, they're just regurgitating bullshit shit that's already
Yeah,
been
they're like, you know what?
That buddy cop version was much
was
better
much
than that.
better.
Way better.
Yeah, well, because it didn't have great.
So the
Guardians,
first
it
episode was just
scenery.
Voltron. The second episode was just it was the Eternals. The
Yeah.
third episode is just a buddy cop. Fucking
Yeah, but that was the
Winter
same
Soldier.
thing for the other seasons. If you go back to the other seasons, they all were kind of like, "Oh, that's this."
Yeah,
Oh,
what does that
that's this.
say? That the fucking writers didn't do shit.
No, I get what you're saying,
All
but
right,
they're just,
what are
like,
we gonna
pulling
model
tropes.
this next one after?
Yeah, like, but what
And they want
sort
to
of-
get paid more.
What unbothers me about it is the fact that they kept that consistent. It wasn't like they just did it for a couple episodes and like, all right, that's lazy writing from that guy. Like,
just
so
like,
we're
we're
gonna be
doing
every
lazy
single
writing the whole
episode. Just do a whole thing. So that's our thing. That's our thing. That's what we're doing with
No,
this series.
no, you
everything
can't
is a
say-
spin-off of something
Can't
you
just
know.
say, here's my thing. I'm gonna plagiarize the fuck out of every
Every episode.
episode.
If
I
you do
love
it
stealing
every
ideas. I love
episode,
stealing
It's our
ideas.
thing. It's our thing. Come on, guys.
And then we
steal
get to
ideas. That's what we
replace these
do.
characters with superheroes
yeah,
we know.
if
What
you do
if-
it on every episode,
What if
it's
we
the thing.
stole ideas?
Yeah. What if
Hey
we
guys,
steal
I
an
just
idea
saw
every
this
episode?
funny movie called Pulp Fiction. We gotta do
Yeah.
it.
We gotta do. That's a great movie. by the
That's,
way.
Have you guys
I
seen this
guarantee you
yet?
that's what they did.
What
right?
if
They're sitting there.
Agatha
Picture
went on a
film's
rampage?
worse.
They're in the writer's room and they put up notes. They put up cards on the wall. Like, all right, here's a whole. Everybody just start brainstorming ideas. Doesn't have to be good ideas. Just everything you can think of.
What if we redid the Hulk? What if we redid
Yeah.
Agatha? What if we read? Stop it.
No, that's what they did. Like, all right, what is this one going to be based off
Lazy
of?
shit.
This one's a Goonies episode. This one's a
shit.
Back to the
Lazy,
Future
lazy, lazy.
episode. This is
Can't
a,
you make it like thought provoking and cool?
There's plenty of good stuff like that.
You
right?
could, but they weren't going for that. They definitely weren't going for
Black
that.
Mirror would
They
be.
could've.
Black Mirror is a good example.
Black Mirror's an excellent
Thought
example.
Don't worry,
provoking.
because after episode 3, they came out with episode 4.
Or Love, Death, and Robots does that too.
I think Larry wants to talk about episode
Love, Death,
4.
and Robots.
I don't think I've seen
All right,
it.
stay
You
on topic.
haven't seen it? Oh my
hey,
God, it's
hey,
so
stay on
good.
topic. Episodes, long enough podcast without you two going way off topic.
If you thought
episode
episode
4.
3 sucked,
What was the
don't
fourth
worry.
one?
Darcy pops out an egg.
That was my least favorite.
She's a freak for that.
Definitely would have been, but again, it furthers the plot for the whole story arc.
Crazy.
Does it really need to do that?
I start the episode and I'm like, there's no way they just did this.
It doesn't need to. But you get the idea of where her daughter appears in the last episode. It's like, otherwise, she's not a character. I don't know the fuck she is.
So you don't need to make her a character in the end then.
No, you could have used somebody else.
Yeah, what the hell was she? She didn't do anything.
She was just part of the team.
Yeah, she's a fucking
smart
pilot.
But she's smart and she's a pilot, right?
She made the ship that was able to get to them where they needed to go. She was useful.
You could have had anybody else do that. You could have brought Riri in.
I was literally just gonna say you could have done Riri.
But they already did her episode.
But now we got this magic duck hybrid. What are we supposed to do with that?
What if we plagiarized? What if that's our shtick?
That whole episode...
I was so sickened by it. What the hell?
Fucking mad. First, I'm like, look, we've already seen Howard bang a girl because we've all seen the movie. Not all of us.
Oh, Howard the Duck, the first one.
Did you ever see Howard the Duck?
Why the fuck would I?
Exactly. So Howard the Duck, like,
it's one of the worst movies ever made. And you got
pretty bad.
I'm actually a little surprised I haven't seen it. There was a stint in time where I tried to watch all the Marvel movies. Yeah. And I just didn't come across that one.
80,
oh yeah, no, it was
late 80s. Yeah.
I watched a bunch of them, but
I mean, technically, because Marvel owns.
Marvel owns Howard the Duck, that character. So in that movie, he does have sex with what's her name?
Yeah, Leah Thompson.
Leah Thompson.
That's still crazy. I don't know. That's still crazy.
He did in the comics too.
Yeah, so that's just weird that a duck is having sex with humans.
I'm never going to let that be forgotten that she laid an egg.
He's an alien duck.
Because she had sex with a duck.
Duck World.
I'm not letting that slide by.
Yeah, no.
Thank you.
I'm going to die on that hill. I think that's weird, and I think that's odd.
If you want to consistent, that's what they did.
I'm so glad they stayed with the continuity.
They were then.
That's so fucking weird.
It was weird then. It's like one of the. It's not a cheap comic either. Like,
and they were like, we gotta bring that storyline back.
They did it in the first movie, and they did it in What If.
So she laid an egg. Like a fucking egg.
An egg. She had sex with a duck and laid an egg.
Yeah, I don't think that.
I don't know. That's fucked up because she's a human. I don't know how she laid the egg. How does she lay an egg?
Well, what if?
A lot of time and
pain.
pain.
In a different universe that humans
you know what,
can do
Larry?
that.
When a man and a woman love each other.
When a woman and a duck love each other very much.
Love each other.
So it's like, all right. So she lays out the egg, and then they get invited to the what's
the vacation there, the grandmaster,
and then everybody's after her ass,
and then they want to eat the duck. I'm like, that's kind of fucked up. They want to eat. Yeah,
it's an egg.
Everybody's like trying to like get this big, powerful being egg, and then it hatches.
Yeah.
I like that meme. Was like the wife's like, I told my husband to put out the boneless chicken, so he did, and he just pans up. It's a bowl full of eggs.
Oh man.
So
I got a question though. Why does she come out with a fucking Boston accent? Did you notice?
Yeah.
We forget the daughter's name. Birdie,
because that's creative.
Boston accent.
Oh, she's got like a very Southy like.
Yeah, she totally did.
She sounds like a.
Darcy has an accent.
Darcy's from like Jersey or something like that.
Like a
or maybe Jersey, whatever it is. I thought her name was Birdie.
Yeah.
It is Darcy's name, Birdie, but the mother's name is Darcy.
Okay.
All right.
And she was in Thor, and that's the chick that rolls with Natalie Portman.
Yeah.
So she's from like Jersey. She's from the Northeast, so.
Yeah, I mean, whatever.
That's a regular accent. So
it was just interesting. You don't normally hear those kinds of accents like on Marvel characters.
Yeah, okay.
I'm impressed that they actually kept it like consistent. That it was like, oh, she has an accent because her mom has an accent. I'm like, oh, okay.
That's the way I look at it.
It's almost like, but Birdie's was like almost thicker than her mother.
It was. It actually was much thicker.
Well, the universe,
although I don't know where they live,
traveling and stuff like that.
Of course, you'd pick up a
You're going to
different
be parking cars and Harvard Yard.
Yeah, all that stuff.
Stupid.
It was thick.
This episode made me go, do I want to watch 4 more of this shit?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh my God.
Legit, like
that was jumping the shark.
This one, I was like,
I see the end of it. Oh my God.
Yeah, by the end of this one, I was like, I know we have to do the podcast. That's the only reason why I'm going to watch it.
Do I need to continue?
And
I had to take a break.
Is this enough?
Were you going to call me and see if we could do something else?
Yeah, like I definitely took a break. Like I didn't watch the next one. I was like, I need to walk away from this.
I need to take 3 deep breaths, take some water, go on a walk.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I definitely had 5 minutes.
I did the same thing. Like literally, I watched up to episode 4 last night, and I was like, all right, I got to take a break, and I watched the rest 4 this morning.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I got a little caught off guard here. My bad. I'm gonna need a second.
I'm gonna need a minute here. Bitch is shooting out eggs at her ass.
Yeah, like that
and they're all
was-
taking everything in the world, everything in the universe
That
going
was
after it.
fucking-
Was it
Movie-
from her ass? Probably.
I mean,
I don't know.
I don't know.
We don't
but
You know
We don't
what? I actually wouldn't want to know.
You know what? That's it. Thank you. Maybe it was a
And
C-section.
they're all
I don't
like-
know, dude. I don't
they're all
know.
like,
She
you
had
know,
a
going
fucking-
after
How does that
it.
work?
How does that work?
The fact that thing is like bounced around the whole fucking never breaks.
Well,
I mean,
because it's a
it's
super
egg
egg.
It's a magic egg.
It's
It's the
show.
magic egg that
It's a
she
magic
birthed.
egg.
Yeah.
Did you not understand it? Like
At
everybody.
the end, yeah, it became a magic egg like the whole time. It's special,
From a
okay.
magic omelet.
She's
Yeah,
just kick ass.
That's right.
And then,
All right, so let's talk about
Oh,
the
what
next
the hell was
episode because
next?
we all hated that one.
yeah,
fuck
then the
you.
next
Yeah, I hate it.
episode, which I wasn't that bad.
The Shang-Chi episode.
No.
Well,
No.
I guess we a little spoiler.
We'll
alert
get
there.
there.
I will get there. This one was the emergency. If
Oh,
the
right.
emergence destroyed the Earth.
That's right. That's
So
Oh,
now
with,
we have Mysterio as the big
Ironheart.
bad. So this is where Ironheart comes in. This one you're
That's
like, who the
right.
fuck
I
is
just got
this
them out of order.
character?
Yeah.
Right. So this is now for me. I'm like,
do you mean?
this is Mysterio. Like for me, he's never been a top level baddie.
In this
But
universe.
I mean, I could see.
What if in this universe
This
he
is a
is?
different universe, right?
It's a different universe,
A little
sure.
bit
It's
Different universe, man.
Different universe. I don't know.
Gotta get with the times.
That's the
That's-
struggle
that's
you're
so
having.
10 minutes
it's
ago.
like every once in a while you're forgetting that's a different universe.
No, I mean,
we were talking about what if Wolverine didn't have his adamantium.
No.
Bad.
Yeah, this episode actually wasn't that bad. I was just
Yeah.
kind of like, oh, man. I like
This
for
one
me,
was
it
cool.
like, out of all the bad guys, you want Mysterio?
Why Mysterio?
Why Mysterio?
I mean, that was more of a plot. I think like they had the plot.
That Spider-Man
I
movie
mean,
made
they
him pretty
pull it off.
scary,
Are they
though.
coming out with a Mysterio thing soon?
I mean, he was in the not the last Spider-Man. the one
Didn't
before.
they
Second Spider-Man went,
kill him?
where they
Wasn't that
yeah,
with
they killed
Gyllenhaal?
him.
Yeah,
Play
it was-
Mysterio?
yeah.
Yeah. So like they've already kind of like sort of done this thing. So it's like he gets the Stark power, he gets all the Stark tech,
Yeah.
which now White Vision is bad. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Which kind of reminds me of Nimrod, the way that they were
Well,
playing
White
him.
Vision isn't necessarily good. Like even in WandaVision, he wasn't good. He was basically trying to take him out.
But yeah,
And
but
then
then
he
he
lost.
he was trying
he
to take them out
essentially
because the
became-
government. No, what was it?
Yeah.
He became good
Yeah.
by the end of the
He
became
episode.
good.
Didn't he get transferred all Vision's powers and all of his knowledge and became
Yeah,
Vision?
but there was still something
Yeah.
fucked up about it.
No, he
They
became like
resurrected
White Vision.
I think White Vision is not bad nor good. I think
Yeah.
he's anti-hero.
That's right.
It's kind of like the
Yeah.
Punisher. It's just
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
like I'm just going to kind of try to figure out my own
It's just
shit.
a powerful weapon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's just a
because like
powerful weapon,
he
and
has
that's-
Vision's like memories and stuff, but
Right.
but he knows those aren't his necessarily.
Right, and that's what.
You know?
Oh, that's at the
So
end
he's
of
like-
WandaVision. That's when he was like, "Wait a minute. So am I having? So who is the
Who am I?
original?
Yeah.
If you're you and I'm me, then who is?
No, the copy of
who's-
a copy is not as sharp as the original. We know that.
Right, and so
No,
the
but
big thing is they're trying to figure out
my
who which
impression
is
was that's how
which.
they resurrected Vision.
Yeah.
essentially.
Yeah. So when I saw this, I was like, "Ooh, out of all the villains, you went with Mysterio?" I was like,
I
"All
I mean,
right."
you know,
Probably-
basically
I
the guy who
didn't
could
mind
create
this
all
one.
these, illusions and.
Well, he was
I-
supposed to be intelligent, right? He
Yeah.
was supposed to.
Oh yeah, I mean, and,
he's
he
big.
takes over Stark
He was in
technologies.
the
Yeah.
Spider-Man movie. So
Right.
I
they're
like
all
how
right,
they
this is
did
a guy
him
they
in
know.
Spider-Man. I thought his like backstory was shit, but like I liked that
Slightly
they had
different
like
than the
almost
comics,
a
so,
horror vibe of like you don't know what's real.
Yeah.
Like I think that's always a really cool thought to play with, which is like
Yeah, but that's
wha-
Mysterio.
Like exactly, like
Fine,
what
yeah.
if this isn't real? What if what you're seeing is fake?
Yeah.
You know. So I like the thought of Mysterio being a like big villain, and
Yeah.
that's his main shtick. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, there's sometimes like I want to see that. I want to see like a B villain that they didn't really use, or C villain. I want to see them like let's elevate
I
him.
want to see them succeed.
I want not just succeed, but I want to see them bigger. I want to just a
A better
subplot.
story, sure.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like that. And don't get me started with that last fucking Batman movie with Bale. Like Two-Face was like a throwaway. And he's a great villain.
Oh,
like he was
yeah.
Oh,
barely
yeah.
a side
I legit,
character.
like, had,
They
like,
just
mental,
fucking
like,
throw him away.
Two-Faces in that? Oh, that's
Right,
right.
you know what I mean? Like he's Eckhart. Like it's,
Yeah.
it's like I want to see I want to see a Batman with a real Two-Face story.
Yeah. So
Not
this one-
the what's his name from with Jim Carrey and
Tommy
Lee Jones. You know what I mean? Like the goofy version. That was
Yeah,
a
that
really
was
fucked up.
stupid.
I'm trying to be Jack Nicholson's Joker.
Yeah, that was not good.
Well,
Yeah.
I think he did that. I think he acted like that on purpose. Though, like he really wasn't too thrilled about doing that part.
No, he did it because his like kid or grandkid or something like that wanted him to do it.
Oh fuck. Okay.
That's literally
That'll do
like
it.
no fucking clue. And he's just like my grandson or something like that told me I should do this. You want me to see you do it, so I did it.
Oh, nice. I wish I was in that position.
That's pretty cool.
Why not?
Yeah, I'll be
But, like,
Two-Face for
yeah.
years.
So overall, like I didn't mind the story at all. There's like some cool parts, like when she actually merges with Vision and she
Yeah.
gets all his shit.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, all right, pretty cool.
I like that she would have lost
I
if it
wish she
wasn't
did.
for the Watcher.
If
Yeah.
it wasn't for the Watcher, that one kind of pissed me off. But that,
I wish. Look,
So
I wish she
was-
died. But technically,
That's not hoping for the bitch.
she usually does, apparently. So I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, all right.
So what I kind of liked about that, though,
Close
is
enough.
because I felt that by him kind of helping her, it moved his story along a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the
So I mean, I was
motivation
like,
for why.
oh, okay. So
Like
now
it was like,
So
okay.
this one actually,
I thought that was okay.
this is probably
Yeah.
one of
liked
the only
his
episodes I
intervention.
liked.
Yeah. You
Was
could
actually
hear
this one.
the torture. He's like, I've seen this 1,000 times.
Yeah.
Play over, and I just can't sit by it anymore.
Yeah, I mean, and they've been
Yeah.
toying with that since almost the beginning.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
definitely season 2 and season 3, where he
Yeah.
he takes Peggy
For
and,
sure.
and does all these, and they start to put
Yeah,
a
but he-
team
yeah, he
together
creates a
essentially.
team, yeah.
You know what I mean? He's totally going against their beliefs as watchers and what they're trying to do.
What I don't like though is on this part when Mysterio's like taking the Vision parts from her onto himself. When I wrote down, so let me get this straight. So simply by the Watcher saying, "Fight, Riri, fight," she gets up and fucking takes it all back.
I tried to.
He was saying that her drive is strictly just for revenge, for
Right.
survival, and
Right.
and she had been so beaten down through this whole.
And she lost
path.
everything.
She had lost everything, and that was the last.
And he just
straw.
revealed that all her friends have been dead this whole
Yeah,
time.
and she's
you
just
know?
like, oh, I don't have the strength anymore to fight. And then I don't know why the hell she would hear him and believe him, but whatever it was.
I mean,
he was
she's
like,
about
fight,
to
fight,
die.
fight.
You might as well believe the little voice in your head.
Yeah. And so
go
I
off.
can. I mean, that's super tropey. Like, come on, fight, and you're like, all right.
In this,
what the hell?
I
I know as well.
in this, I can kind of believe it a little bit though,
Yeah.
because she had
She had
been
the
just
ability.
devastated,
Yeah.
you know.
She had
and
the
did
love
have
inside
to
her
release
the
it.
whole time.
She had it.
The power of friendship.
She just had to release it.
She just had to believe.
Yeah, she had to get the milk out of the teats.
Go back to that, huh?
Let's go right back to that.
One more time.
One more time. Come on, though. That was bullshit. That was bad writing.
Crazy
That
ass
was fucking
line.
weird, stupid ass line.
I'm
Do you want to
gonna
know
be
where that
sleeping
line
and that's
probably
gonna
came
pop
from?
up.
Fucking Spartacus.
Probably.
Probably did.
Shitty ass writing.
Shitty writing. Spartacus was good though.
Rage spilled out.
Gladiator 2 was shit.
And they pulled a little Spartacus in that movie, which we forgot to mention.
Which one?
They're now
Remember when
talking about
the main
Gladiator 2,
guy
by
who
the
like
way.
ran the gladiators that he finally ends up killing? He's like, who did it? They're like, I did it. I am Spartacus.
I thought-
I am Spartacus.
so,
Like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah,
fucking
I thought
A.
of that actually.
That's
when you were
exactly
doing
what
it.
they did.
I was like, hey.
I know we're going back an episode, but that's
Yeah.
exactly what the fuck they did. I meant to
that
mention it last week.
So fucking bad.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. And we talked about it before too with the whole, hey, how long do you need to build that weapon? She's like, I need 12 hours. Like, you have 7.5 minutes on it. She's like, okay.
Yeah, that was
And she did it in
bullshit.
5. Come on, man.
She still did it in less than 7.5.
Hate that.
That was kind of
It's kind of like it kind of reminds me
It
of
was
when
like,
they.
Scotty, you got to get us out of here. I need 3 hours to fix the warp drive.
Yeah,
you got
that's-
3
yeah.
minutes. Oh, all right.
okay.
I need more power. Yeah.
That was,
Get it done in 2.
Okay.
All right, good, Scotty.
You got 3.5 minutes. I'll get it done in
So
2,
why the
bitch.
fuck did you tell me 2
So
hours?
so after this episode, I
He's
wrote
an
down-
engineer. That's what engineers do.
Yeah.
Well, did you see? Remember in the
I need 6
was it-
weeks.
Forget
They
which
get it
Star
done in 2
Trek.
days. Whoa.
Which Star Trek it was, and like the bridge calls down. He's like, hey, how long is it? Like when they did a crossover, like. They're with,
I think
like,
I know what you're talking
Geordi,
about. No,
and
I know
he's like,
exactly,
It's going to take me, 2 hours to get this fixed. And then later, Scotty was like, how long is it really going to take? He's like, no, it's going to take me 2 hours. He goes, how do you expect to be known as a miracle worker?
That's right.
If you tell him how long it's really going to
You
take.
can't give him real time.
No, that was
That's
so
why
funny. I
that's
remember that.
fake. That's
That
why
was
that's
so
fake.
funny. Oh my
no
God.
engineer in their life has ever told a person the real time. Ever in recorded
Like, how else
history.
am I supposed to look like a
6
miracle
weeks
worker?
gets it done in 2 days. Fucking miracle work. I know. I'm working night and day. I work my ass off.
Aren't I? Yes, come on. I know I'm amazing. Come
I know
on.
exactly how long
You know why
it is.
engineers do that? Because we know there's change coming. You're always going to change the fucking
Oh,
specs.
at last second, absolutely, 100%.
I don't even want to get into the fucking engineers.
Happens all the time.
How those doors doing with those security systems? Those doors fit right yet? He'll tell you after. It's fucked up. Oh shit! All right, so what are we on? We're on 19.
Episode 6.
Episode 6. What is it?
1872.
That's
I
it.
thought this was kind of fun.
I enjoyed it.
I had a little fun with
I had
this.
fun
You
with
like
this
it?
one.
This was like the
Saw it
only
coming that it
episode
was
where
his-
I was like,
I totally
okay,
saw
I
it
can
coming
sit
that
back
it
and
was
have a
sister
little
at
bit
the
of fun
end.
with
Like, that's
this.
the sister.
If the sister thing, I was like, all right, yeah,
I knew that
obviously that was the
I went
sister.
like, that's a sister. I fucking okay.
Did any of the
just wait for
twists
them.
get me? Not once.
I mean,
But I kinda
none of the
enjoyed
twists
it.
get you in these shows. You're like, I totally.
Yeah, you see them the second the episode starts.
My very first line on my notes is, the description of this episode alone makes me think it's going to be stupid. Shang-Chi and fucking Hawkeye are in the fucking Middle West,
Middle West.
Midwest, spaghetti
Old
Western,
Wild
Old
West.
West, Old Wild West.
The Midwest.
At least it was a new take.
Nebraska.
At least
Sure.
it was like,
Okay.
we're in the Old West. Okay, that's not a time that we normally see the Avengers or the superheroes in, right?
Although we
So-
have been there before with them, haven't we? In one of the episodes.
We have.
Seasons?
Have we?
I don't remember when, but we have.
that.
I'll look back. I'll look
Look
back
back
on
on
it.
But anyway, so then I was like, all right, this is kind
Whatever.
of
So now they're in the Wild West. Whatever. Now here's my thing. So those are the bad guys, right? That shoot the bells. Bing,
Right.
bing. So they're summoning him,
Yeah.
right? So this is work with me for here. So my question was,
Work with me, not
does-
against me.
Yeah. Does the Ten Rings summon him? Okay. And why did they call him? Doesn't seem really smart to call the guy you want to kill, knowing that he's a badass with Hawkeye as a partner. Usually, it seems out of order. They call him to kill him, but he beats them and now interrogates them. Wouldn't the order of operations be good guys infiltrate bad guys' base, beat them all up, then interrogate them? Meaning, why the fuck would the bad guys call him? It's like
Well-
the Joker standing on a hill going, "Hey, Batman, come
He
get me,
does.
I'm right here."
He does.
Yeah, but he's
the
sick and sadistic, though.
But what if in this universe the bad guys are dummies? And they just,
No,
they
see,
just
all right,
do
so
shit.
now-
Oh no, it's medieval time. Medieval.
Oh yeah,
something.
medieval times.
1602.
We need to stop doing that. We need to stop doing that. Well, this is a different universe, so this is stop.
Not gonna
logic.
stop.
He's not wrong.
I'm not
Logic
gonna
is
stop.
good. Logic is always logic, right? It
yeah.
doesn't make sense to do something that would be counter to your interests.
It's like they know he's a badass.
Nope.
So why the fuck would they call
Can't agree
him?
on that.
That was
agree.
weird. Wait, are we
don't-
talking
what
about the
don't
very
you agree
beginning
on?
when they
The
go?
very
Okay, we can only have one conversation at a time, but I don't agree because it is literally what if. Anything, as they said multiple times, anything is possible.
So it's like, what
Every
if they threw logic
variation.
out the window?
Yeah. What if?
No.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Let's go back. What if the convergence blows up the Earth, yet people are still able to walk around as if there would still be a fucking atmosphere?
Yeah, that's weird.
That was actually one of my notes.
Right,
too.
but like that, you have to suspend all this disbelief. Like this is it is a
that
lot.
was- that was
It's a
dumb.
huge fucking leap. Trust me, it's a huge fucking leap to understand that people are gonna still be walking around in a completely fractured, blown apart Earth. Like, okay, so bad guys doing this stupid things like this, and bad guys are known to do stupid things to further the plot along. This is what they did.
They like legit called him.
Right,
I can't
but
believe,
to
like,
kill
they
him,
stood a
like
fucking-
they didn't know how to
right,
find him. So
right.
like, all right, we want to kill him because he's going around killing.
Free,
Yeah, pretty much. Like,
Oh, that's
he's
what they
they're
called
going
it?
around
I thought
calling.
they were just fucking around, like
No, they
like saying
wanted to
Bloody
kill
Mary in the
him.
mirror 3 times.
But
Like,
if you
oh
don't-
shit, she's real. Like,
right.
That's what
But
I
if
thought.
you're a gang of badasses, and there was
Be
a
small,
lot
be
of them in
small,
that
be
room,
small.
on the floor and up high, and there was a lot of them in that fucking room, and their plot is to kill him and them because they're going around,
Stopping
creating
all the
justice,
bad- right.
So okay, we need to stop this motherfucker.
But
like,
that was their plan, though, and that's.
but think about it in like, okay, let's take it to a Batman universe because that's where I live. Sometimes that's what they do. Let me create a little chaos because I know it's gonna call Batman out. I don't know where the fuck he is. I don't know where his cave is, so I'm gonna call him out so I can get him out here so I can fuck him up. And then it doesn't work because he's Batman and he fucks them up. Same thing happened. They called him out to kill him, and they end up winning.
But this just seemed like
He threw the hat in the air and then fucking wins. Wasn't that wasn't
He was like,
Shang-Chi?
"Let me
Wasn't
take my hat
that
off."
Walker?
I don't.
Didn't they call him? Wasn't that Walker? That wasn't Shang-Chi.
Who was
in the
Walker?
first
That was
time.
Shang-Chi.
The first one where they first called him
Yeah,
out.
that's Shang-Chi.
Yeah, that was Shang-Chi.
I thought I kept calling him Walker. I thought it was what's his name? The other Captain America.
No, not Paul Walker.
The
Oh,
Captain
no.
America. The fall. The what we call U.S. agent.
They said Walker at some point.
Yeah.
Maybe
It didn't
no,
look
but
like.
not necessarily calling him, but
It
like
didn't look like Shang-Chi
someone
later.
that-
The Asian guy that beat
Yeah,
up
yeah,
everybody?
yeah,
No,
that's what I'm
no,
saying.
there was someone there. Someone definitely said that guy's name.
Yeah.
I just don't remember it because I probably wasn't looking. But he was one of the bad guys, probably.
Yeah, the main
was
bad guy
prob-
was like calling him out. I thought and I could be completely
Main
wrong.
guy? I don't think
that
he's the main
episode
bad guy. I just
confused
remember his
me.
name being said.
I'm gonna be straight up honest with you. I'm totally in the dark. That episode confused me at the beginning. I could have sworn it was the guy who plays U.S. Agent essentially with Bishop. And then later on, it's like, wait a minute, it's Shang-Chi with her. Like, I don't. What the fuck happened? Like, how did
No, it
they?
was always Shang-Chi.
Okay, you're
yeah.
probably right.
Yeah.
It just didn't look like him or sound like
They
him, or
said his name at some
and because
point,
they called him
and I don't know
something
why.
else.
Yeah, I
It
think was.
just totally. I have to watch it again because it fucking confused me.
I don't.
That's what happens.
I didn't
when
have
you're
time
not
to go
paying
back and
attention.
watch it,
Like
'cause
when
of-
you're like doing two different things at once and you like have it in the background.
But I was literally at the front desk watching it.
Oh, okay.
I was like, that's all I was doing was sitting there watching that episode. Like,
I liked that Kate Bishop was stacking bodies at the end.
hold on, Larry's got an update. Larry's got an update.
You're not wrong, but the bad guy was Walker.
The bad guy?
The bad guy was Walker, which is
Gotcha.
USA.
Oh,
okay.
Gotcha.
So
that's what it
Shang-Chi
was.
calls him Walker.
That's what
Walker,
it was.
Texas Ranger.
Yeah, that too.
No, but close.
Is it John?
So, John Walker. Yeah.
John
So
Walker?
that guy is Walker.
The guy from the Winter Soldier episode.
He
Yeah.
becomes USA agent.
Yeah.
So that's why. So you did hear that name, but
Okay.
it's
All right. I'm better now. I feel better now.
okay. Good.
I was right, but I wasn't wrong. I was just really fucking confused.
You're like, his name, he was in there.
He
I
was
just
in
don't
there
know where.
somewhere. I don't know. There was this thing, and then he just backflipped into one of these things, and that was it.
Ta-da.
Also, so this is how they're gonna introduce the Hood into the MCU. They're not waiting for Ironheart.
Wait, who's the Hood?
Well, Shang-Chi's sister, but
Well, yeah, well,
Right, but
she's
the character is the
fucking
Hood.
dead in this
the
one
Hood.
right now. So
I don't know the character, so
Right. No.
The Hood?
So in this episode, they're going after the Hood, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we all know. So the Hood is
Yes.
a real character.
I didn't know that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's a real demonic. So he's a real character in the MCU.
Okay, so
He's
she
supposed-
killed that version of the
Right.
Hood.
But hold on. But I'm just saying, like in real life, this is how they're introducing the Hood to the MCU.
It's not real life.
Because in real, I'm gonna hit you.
Well, that's like saying Moon Knight will be back in a mech suit, and you go, the fucking huh?
Yeah. So the Hood,
Fuck right off with that shit.
yeah, the Hood is supposed to be getting introduced in the Ironheart movie.
Oh, okay.
Or show, whichever way
Show, I
they're
think
gonna
they're
go.
going with it, yeah.
So it just kind of surprised me that they actually brought they brought the Hood into this.
Is it a way to introduce a version? Because, like, you know, it's not the
probably
real
to, like,
Hood.
test
to
the
kind
waters
of get
and
you
go,
the
"Whoa."
idea of this
Okay,
character,
okay,
so that
so,
when they do
okay.
hit the Ironheart
I'm
show
just talking
movie, you're
about,
like, oh, I
I'm
already
talking
heard
about
this person.
just the character. Stop playing footsies with me.
Sorry, man. I like it.
I like it too.
you
I'm
two
just
need
talking
a
about
room? Do you want us to leave you
maybe.
alone,
No,
or-
we got this room. We don't need another
Yeah,
one.
we're good.
Well,
we'll
big
go.
enough for everybody. That's fine. I'm just saying, like, the character himself. I don't care what version you want to give me. 313-905-867-5309. Jenny's there. I don't care. I'm just kind of surprised that they're introducing a character to us. Again, I don't care what version it is. I'm just surprised that they're introducing this character that we've heard over like the last year and a half, 2 years, that this was going to be, the Hood was supposed to be the main bad.
Oh, I didn't even hear that, but I'm sure you're right.
So he's supposed to be the main bad.
You're in the know right
in the
now.
Ironheart.
Yeah, you're in there when I'm not.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Can I make an aside here? Because this is kind of something I've noticed that the MCU and even the DC, well, not DC so much, but like MCU for sure, they've veered so far off of the path of the average person being able to follow what's going on, right? Like Marco and us, we're all kind of like in the middle of this a bit, don't know who that character is.
Right.
And so that means...
Does that have to happen, though, at some point? I'm just throwing that out there,
but
because
well,
eventually you tire out on the average characters everybody
And
knows.
I think that's the case, but I think you can do it better, because if you're going to
You're not wrong.
introduce, you're going to go into this realm, because you have to eventually run out of the other ones. You got to be able to say, all right, this character is this persona, and here's where they tie in. You got to kind of come up with those origin stories, for lack of a better word, as to how do they tie in, so that the average person watching this can put it together a bit.
Yeah.
You know, you're not like, I don't know, man. There's so many new characters now. I don't know who's who, and I'm just taking it at face value. But if you don't know who they are,
Robert Downey
you
Jr.'s
lose.
back, but he's fucking Doom all of a sudden.
Yeah, right. So like those kinds of things, like they take you out of it a bit, and they reduce your ability to appreciate it. Because like if you know the backstory, like this is that person, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like they could do that better by bringing in, like, or appealing
used
to
to.
a wider audience.
They used to. When they first started, I'm with you, Bruno. When they first started, they did that. They took the names that everybody knows, and they sprinkled in a little person that maybe you don't know, but they gave the average person an idea of who that character was.
Yeah.
And then when you see that character in another movie, you're like, oh, I remember that from it. You didn't really need to know the complete backstory.
But they're familiar.
But they're familiar now because now you see them for the second, third time. So I think that, like, on this one, was kind of bizarre because who knows that Hawkeye's now a woman? I don't think the average
Anybody
person
who
knows
watched
that.
the Hawkeye show.
Okay, but you're only going to watch the Hawkeye show if you're into Hawkeye. So it's like you kind of needed you didn't see Kate Bishop in any of the movies. So if you're just a movie watcher, because I know people who just watch the movies, who didn't watch the TV show,
most people,
they don't watch the TV show. So all of a
You
sudden
can't watch
like,
sequels to these movies anymore.
They
don't make sense.
They don't because
you're right.
I know Cece was in my ear the whole
time.
time talking to me with like Doctor Strange 2, going like, "What the fuck happened in between these two movies?"
Yeah, because there's things in the in between.
lot of
that's
shit
the
you
problem.
missed.
And that's the problem.
And
right?
that's my
You have
biggest
to
gripe with
create-
Marvel right now. They're like allergic to having a one-off thing, or when they do have a one-off thing, they go, "That was pretty cool." Anywho, let's abandon this project, and I go, "What?"
Yeah.
I mean that's a big problem with them is they're trying to make it where to follow you watch this movie and you watch this movie, but then when you watch the third movie, something's missing in between those two movies. You're like, what the fuck? They're referencing all these things. Like, oh,
But you
that
know
was in
what
the TV
universe
show.
does that pretty well is the Star Wars universe. Like you could watch all the Star Wars movies and not be too far out of known. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they don't introduce the whole like Darksaber shit in the Star Wars movies. They just don't use it.
Yeah.
You know, they don't introduce like all the Mandalorians. They just don't use it. So when you make like the next Star Wars movie, it's definitely gonna get made, I'm sure. Like
Yeah, and they pushed it off again, but yeah.
Yeah, but like it would be smart if they didn't reference all this other side material that they've never introduced in the movie.
Well, one of the
feature
things,
length
one of
stuff.
they're doing is the Mandalorian movie. More of the Mandalorian Grogu.
Which
They're doing
is
a movie.
fine, but Mandalorian
It's a
was in the Star Empire, right?
No, Boba Fett was.
Boba Fett was.
But he was a
the
Mandalorian.
Peter Pascal version of the Mandalorian and Grogu.
I understand, but I'm saying
weren't.
you've been
So
introduced
you're gonna have a
to
whole
that.
movie. Hopefully, the people have seen the Mandalorian show.
Although things
But you've been
like that
introduced
have
to it.
happened before. Shows have movies.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
and
know?
that's fine. But I'm saying like there are ways to do it, and I don't.
Even the
feel
Batman
Like,
'66 did.
I don't feel like Marvel does it.
Between
Shocker
season
pellet.
1 and
That was a
season 2, they had
great
the
movie.
movie.
That was so
which was
fun.
really just an advertising tool to get the show sold overseas, so they could start running it overseas. That's why they did that.
That's where you get the shark repellent.
Yep, it was an advertising tool.
So funny.
And what's her name was Lee Merriweather was busy doing a movie in Canada, which is why she didn't do Catwoman.
Oh, very interesting. Where else was I on this?
Next episode.
Oh, no, because there's a couple more things on this one. So I also feel that this episode was basically Marvel's version of the Lone Ranger.
Well, yeah, they gotta.
Yeah, basically.
Gotta keep it up.
There's a ghost train, so now I'm going, oh, look, Marvel meets Scooby-Doo. But what makes,
Oh, and then
what
fucking
makes the
rest
ghost
of
train
my
go
life
is, oh, look, it's more Stark tech getting stolen. So Stark, like, should just put an alarm in all
They
his shit.
just sprinkle Star Tech.
You know, like
Everywhere.
Yeah,
And they don't
it's
get
the
stolen.
easiest
That's their ghost.
something that I had a weird gripe about. They keep going like, "Oh, Stark."
That's their
in the
kyber
movies, or at least the fucking beginning, with like when Tony Stark talks about his father, he was always like, "I am held back by the technology of my time. I can work with the shit that we have now." But in like What If and all this other future, like especially the What If series abuses the shit out of this.
Different
they go,
dimensions.
he's a Stark. He just invents all this shit. If it's blue and glowy, it's Howard Stark and not even Tony
universe.
Stark.
Different universe.
Different universe.
It's just,
One
it's
person
just so
farted
weird.
on a
They
Sunday
go,
instead of a Saturday, and it changed fucking
it's just
everything.
the fact that they can't even do like Tony Stark. Like I can believe Tony Stark can make blue glowy shit in the 1602.
No, just Howard.
Or 1872. You know?
Yeah.
But it's like only Howard in these shows. Like it's just weird to me that like that's their go-to guy.
Yeah, why not
Is
Tony?
Howard.
Why not
Yeah,
Tony?
because I'm like, Tony could do this.
Well, they probably did. They didn't do
Howard
Tony because
has
they couldn't
what
get
he
Robert Downey
has.
Jr. I bet.
Probably. Yeah.
It's probably
No,
way
no, no.
too expensive to do the voiceover.
No, but not everybody does their voiceovers.
Not
Yeah,
not
they can
all of them.
literally
I mean,
get
A lot of
some
them do.
other
Like
dude.
there's one episode that was like fucking almost everybody.
It would be better to
Yeah.
get
But like,
that
so,
guy.
yeah, no,
Sebastian
it
Stan
is.
does
They can
all of
literally
them.
pull some guy
They've
out.
done Tony in other seasons, and it was
And it
not
wasn't-
Robert.
and
He's
it wasn't-
never done it.
Yeah.
I don't think he's
Yeah.
ever done the
Because he was too
voiceover.
expensive.
Oh yeah, he's fucking ridiculous.
Oh my god, yeah. No.
He's come back in the new movie, but yeah, he's
Voice? No. Not
So-
doing that.
it ain't gonna fit in one Brinks trunk. Like he got to back up an army of Brinks trucks. to
That
get
was just my
motherfucker in.
small gripe, though. I was
Okay.
like, what the
One of my gripes is they took the little kid with them.
That was a gripe I had.
Robin?
That was really
Where-
weird.
They
Yeah.
brought
He
the little
shows
boy
off
with
some
them.
moves, and
Yeah,
they go,
June
yeah,
Fan.
let's bring him.
So wait a minute. So I'm glad you just said that.
That's Bruce Lee's name.
His name is June Fun. That's Bruce Lee's name.
June Fun was really Bruce Lee's real name.
Oh,
Are you?
Lee June Fun.
Yeah.
He's
So
the
they,
guy.
Fun.
they fucking brought
So
Bruce
and I
Lee.
caught like the second or third time he said his name. I went when he was like when he was like
that
Dad,
really
Dad.
true?
Yeah.
Yeah, Bruce
That's-
Lee's
Yeah,
real
Lee
name
June
is June
Fun.
Fun. Lee June Fun.
off. That's
Man, they can't even invent a character.
Now wait a minute, because this gets
But that's kind of like where they were going with it. Like he becomes Bruce Lee.
Oh, stop.
I'm so tired. I'm so
He becomes
tired.
a fighter. He becomes Bruce Lee.
time out. Wait a minute. So I caught it when he was like, Daddy, he's on the train. And then Shang-Chi says his name, and I went, wait a minute. And I hit pause, and I hit rewind, and I went, let me hear that again. And I hit play, and it's like June, and then you can see the subtitles like, Lee June Fun. That's Bruce Lee's real name.
Yeah.
I was like, get the fuck out of
This
here.
little Asian kid becomes a real
Now,
badass fighter.
the very next line,
it's like it's
they
the
actually, I don't know if it's the next line, they use something like, oh, okay, you and your Fist of Fury fights. I was like, you gotta be shitting
Which
me.
is one of Bruce Lee's famous movies, Fist of Fury.
It's only 4 movies. It's one of the 4 movies he did. I was like, are
Brother.
they just gonna make Bruce Lee references
Fucking
now?
comments.
It's just fucking Bruce Lee.
I thought that was fun.
that's-
I thought that was fun.
I had
I just
no
thought it was
idea.
fun. I just thought it was fun.
Oh
To me,
my
it was
God.
a good time.
So that little part, I was like, oh, here we go. So
I
I was
didn't
like,
pick up on that, but
yeah.
now that
So
I
I
know
don't,
that,
maybe, you know what?
That just turned his stomach.
I'm just
His
rolling
stomach
my
did another
fucking
flop.
eyes.
Although, on the
Stop it.
bright side, without the Watcher, he would have gotten killed on the train. Surprise.
So, more interference from the Watcher when he
He
flicks the
flicks-
guy.
he flicks the
I was
guy.
like, okay,
I
the
got
Hood
it.
is his sister. We kind of all saw that happen.
Yeah.
Yes,
Like the moment
yeah.
they first tell the
That
story,
was hard
how, like,
not to
she
see.
disappeared. I was like, oh, because she became the Hood.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
That
Aha!
plays.
2 characters
That
we haven't
tracks.
seen yet.
Yeah.
That tracks down the Ghost Train's track. I got that.
So now, Shang-Chi fights his sister. Kate Bishop shoots her. Bang.
Bam!
She goes down. Bitch goes down. What happens to the Hood?
Flies away.
Just floats away.
Oh, yeah.
So somebody
But
else
the
can become the
morning.
Hood.
Everybody knows.
So somebody else can become the Hood.
Fuck off!
So somebody, yeah, because
You got your ass beat. They're no longer the Hood.
Yeah.
Fucking Hood just floats away.
Somebody else picks up the Hood, puts it on. They're the Hood. The
Dun-dun-dun.
demon inside that's playing
Yeah.
inside the Hood gets into them.
He's like, I'm the fuck out of here.
He's like, yeah, you just got
That
clipped.
didn't work out.
Also, they said a line at the end when they were talking about the kid doing
Look at
cool
me,
shit.
hitching my
They
wagon
said
to the wrong
Iron
train.
Fist. Which I'm like, no.
The wrong horse.
The Hood's like, everybody makes mistakes. That was just one of mine.
Just what mine.
Or Fist of Iron, something like that.
Fury.
No, it's just a Fury.
No, in the last,
saying
like the
the
last
last-
couple lines. It literally caught me off guard. I was like,
No, she called him the Iron Fist, which basically means he'll turn into Iron Fist.
yeah,
Who's gonna
that's
turn
what
to
I,
Iron
that's
Fist?
what I just
At the end of the, at the, end of
That's
the
what I meant.
episode, they
Okay,
call him like,
okay,
look at
so
he's
that's
got
what I
the-
said,
He's
yeah.
an Iron Fist.
Okay, now
He's
so
like the
that's,
Iron
And I was like,
well, here's the thing, though.
Bruce Lee?
I believe that the I had read this a while ago. I don't know if it's actually coming to playing up because I don't read the comics.
Yeah.
But they were saying that they were going to change the character from Danny Rand.
Yes,
because
it is
Danny
gonna
Rand's
be an
had it,
Asian.
But they were going to make it an
So it's
Asian
gonna be Bruce
character
Lee?
now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, so if they make little June Fun over here, fuck it.
Little Bruce Lee, apparently.
Little Bruce Lee.
So
They're gonna make
funny.
little Bruce Lee fucking Iron Fist. All right.
They're like, we should invent a new character. Nah, that's
Or
too much
not.
work.
Or not.
Why the hell would he do
know,
that?
we're actually gonna
That's a
make
joke.
it. We're gonna use Bruce Lee's storyline that he was born in San Francisco because that's where all the Chinese immigrants are. They're all in San Francisco.
Yep.
Yeah. We're gonna use that. We're gonna use that.
Do you think in the story room they were like, all right, well, we're going to turn Iron Fist Asian. Who's a good Asian fighter?
Who do we have?
I know, Bruce Lee.
Bruce Lee's Asian.
Like, that's it. And they were like, all right, guys, this is a great
No
idea.
more suggestions.
Let's move on.
We've got our final answer.
yeah.
They
that's what
couldn't. They
went
couldn't
with.
come up with like a different name. They couldn't come up with a different
Come up
backstory.
with someone new. How about you
Yeah,
be
I
fucking
mean, like
creative?
just a new person.
Yeah.
I know, something crazy like that.
Listen, this is a different universe.
It's different universe.
And this
There's
is,
infinite
and
universes.
this is one of the things I always I griped about when they first mentioned the whole multiverse. I had said it from the beginning. I was like, I'm all for having multiverse and different stories. I'm all for it if the writing's great. What I don't want to see is a shitty story get put out there, and because nobody likes it, it just gets written off as, well, it's in the multiverse, doesn't happen. And who cares? Like that to me, that's
It's
just
so easy.
that makes it right. It's easy writing, lazy writing. It
Yeah.
opens the
And I think
window
you're
to just
seeing
throw away
that.
shit.
I think you're seeing that in a lot of the shit
And
Marvel's put out.
we definitely talked about it in past episodes. We all that we all kind of feel the same way. So that was episode 6,
And then there's the fucking rest of it.
and then there's 7 and 8, which is the whole Watcher.
And then there's the rest of it.
See, I've ever since the beginning of like What If, and this is just something that grew with time. I hated the fact that it was not just a strict anthology, because I thought that idea was fun. But the fact that they were like, we can't do that. We have to tie them in. We have to make another Avenger team.
Yeah.
What else are we supposed to do? I'm like, I don't know, make a fun anthology series like you said you would.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't know.
That's
Maybe
always
do what you said you were gonna fucking do.
like since the beginning, that has just been a gripe that I've had. And I'm like, okay, cool. We gotta have a through line. So then the last 2 to 3 episodes are like a fucking waste of time. Because I'm like, okay, cool. We just invented like bullshit going on.
Yep.
And a new group.
Yeah.
Because fuck the other ones,
But
I guess.
listen, so one of the cool things I liked in episode 7, which I immediately got excited for, the new Captain Carter crew consisted of Captain Carter, fucking Peggy, Captain Carter,
Yes.
Birdie,
Storm.
Don't. He's burying the lead here.
I'm burying the lead.
I meant
Fucking, who's the other girl?
the girl.
The Native American girl.
Oh yeah, the Native American girl. And then fucking Storm. When I saw
That was
Storm
so
come
cool.
down,
Thor. Well, I knew that was coming. Like we saw.
so
it in the
I
previews.
didn't. So
It was
I
I didn't
weird.
see that.
I wanted to see how she got involved with them. That's what I wanted. I was like, how did she get involved? What is she doing with this hammer?
Yeah.
I don't know that story arc. If there actually is one, I don't know it. But I would have liked to see them explain it a little bit in a couple lines.
Yeah.
Because I knew how the other two were there. Like I knew how the Native American girl was there because she got part of the team back last season. Birdie's also, now we know that's the daughter of.
I kind of thought her character was fun.
I didn't mind it, but when I saw Storm, I was like, Storm got introduced.
That was awesome.
Now, I'm happy with that because that tells me that you're bringing the fucking X-Men in, which we all know.
No.
But I think that they're bringing in the X-Men a lot sooner than we thought.
No.
They,
Why not?
They're still doing it. No, because they told us they're still doing it slowly. They're not really gonna do too much X-Men, like real heavy on X-Men, until after the next 2 Avenger movies.
What I mean by
kind
that-
of slowly, like they had
So-
Beast.
right.
You have Storm now.
Oh, yeah.
Like obviously we have
We have
Wolverine.
So,
they're introducing little bits, but not
I'm
really
okay with
heavy with X-Men till after.
So I don't need a solo X-Men movie right now.
I wonder if they're gonna put them into the
But I
Avenger
like that
movies.
they're
I'm not
putting
sure.
them into things.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck
Yes.
yeah. I'm liking.
Obviously, we've seen Professor Xavier.
I don't like that. I don't like crossing the streams like that. To me, the X-Men is a different universe than the Marvel universe, than the DC.
Well, in this universe.
Obviously, we're talking about
Actually, as we've discussed.
We're talking about multiverse. So this is just like what my preference is. My
Sure.
preference would be keep it separate, right? Because I just don't know that this all adds up. Because in the
I
X-Men
can't
universe,
imagine how it would work out.
all superheroes are just like genetic mutants of some
Well, yes.
sort.
So you're right.
Whereas
in this story
in
arc, they are.
In the Marvel universe, there are all sorts of different reasons why they're super. Some are celestial beings. Some are, whatever. So I think you're basically just like, well, let's throw it all together. I get it. They now own everything, so they can play with it.
Yeah.
Me personally, I would like them to keep those concepts separated.
So what I think basically, just from understanding what they're planning on doing is like this doomsday stuff, this next version of Avengers will kind of start ending this whole multiverse thing.
They're
where
ending
kinda,
it?
Yeah, thank God.
Oh, thank
Because they're
God.
kind of collapse it into the main timeline. So yes, you are right. Like we've only, other than Miss Marvel, right? What we saw. She's a mutant. She wasn't really supposed to be a mutant. She's an Inhuman, but they made her a mutant. Everybody else has been in a separate universe, right? We saw Beast was in a different universe when Captain Photon, whatever the fuck, right? She went to a different universe. Like anybody that we've seen, Professor X was in a different dimension. Like he was a different universe. So the X-Men, mutants don't exist in the main sacred timeline. They exist in other timelines, and I think they're going to converge them into the main sacred
they
timeline.
are, and that's what he doesn't want.
yeah, and I'm
Right, but
saying I would prefer if they did not.
I agree with you, and I don't.
me,
I
they're
don't
concepts,
agree
just
only because I'm
different
getting
concepts.
tired of the multiverse stuff.
No, you don't need multiverse. You could just keep the X-Men franchise as its own thing.
But at some point, even in the
because it's got a
comics, they fight.
storyline.
The Avengers and the X-Men fight.
I get it. They're trying to, in the comic books, you've got to release one every month. You've got to fucking, or
That was
whatever
a
it
big
is.
story thing.
You
I mean,
got
it
to
was
come
one
up
of
with
the
the
Civil
different
Wars and stuff like that,
reasons
they
why.
fight.
I get it. I'm just saying, I think
people are clamoring for that. Like, a lot of people are clamoring for the fight against the Avengers versus the X-Men. Oh yeah, I think.
No, I think a lot of people are clamoring, but I think you have a very, very good reason to be very, very intrepid about this.
Yeah, but I think
train's moving. And
I am hoping, even if it's in the same universe, kind of like they do with some of the other movies, like let's have an X-Men movie, but we don't need to see the Avengers popping it. They don't even need to fly in. I don't give a fuck.
That's what I want.
They could be in that universe off doing something.
Well, all right. So
I just want an X-Men story.
But pause right there, right?
Shit.
If you, and we've talked about this before, in like any of the Avengers Endgame stuff, why the fuck didn't they just bring in Captain Marvel?
Right, yes, okay? Exactly.
So, like, if you have these other beings that are so super powerful that could solve your problem, what's the issue?
Yeah.
Bring them in.
Why
so now if you start bringing these two universes together, all the problems that are happening in the X-Men universe are harder to solve because there's no like
you
one
could just bring the Avengers in and vice versa.
Yeah. So I think you're just
like, why would they team up in every movie?
You're creating bigger problems writing.
But I guess it's the same. I guess it's. But your argument will still hold true to this. But like, because it's a comic, and you have to write one every month. But like, the same happens true in the comics, right? An Avengers comic doesn't have X-Men in it. An X-Men comics doesn't have Avengers, even though they are in the same universe. Like the X-Men are just solving their old shit against Magneto. Even though Magneto's ending the world, you don't see like the Avengers pop in to help.
I mean, Magneto's ending the world. You don't think Thor or
no, they totally would. Absolutely, they would. But they don't in the comics on average.
Right, because
it's their own comic. They just is the X-Men title.
But logically, right, it falls apart. Logically, it doesn't make sense.
Absolutely, yeah. And so, you know me, I'm a logic guy. Like I can't stand it when shit gets illogical.
So then,
do you have to suspend disbelief because these people are flying around in tights and have powers? Yes.
You own both franchises. Keep it easy. Make a movie in each genre, right? Continue X-Men, do something new. Continue Marvel, do something new. You don't have to like merge them all into one universe. Feel like, why? Right? Because then you're confined by everything that happened previously.
So I think the only argument, because I agree with you, I think the only argument is at some point you want to play with them all together. So how do you every once in a while,
multiverse.
But every once in a while,
they stay in their own backyard.
So every once in a while, let's say you do want to cross somebody over, even if it's like one person. We're doing an X-Men movie, and I want Thor to come in. You have to create the how does he get there?
Yeah, sure.
You have to write that in every time.
Like the Arrow universe,
right?
And,
you have to fucking
Flash.
You have to go through that every fucking time.
Yeah.
You have to strap on the fucking thing and go through the wormhole, right?
Yeah, right. But then they come back.
But if they're in the same universe, you have to do that every time you want to cross people over.
Yeah, but then you got to worry about why aren't they here?
It's the one half or the other, right? Do we either put them all in the same universe and deal with the fact they're not helping each other, or do you put them in separate universes and deal with the fact that they always have to do something to cross over?
Figure out how to cross over.
But then you have to do it every fucking time.
Yeah,
you do it.
I mean, because I don't think you want people interfering every fucking time.
No, you don't.
If I write a story, I got to figure out, from writing a story with them, you got to create a problem, then you got to create a solution to that problem. And if the solution to that problem is always, well, Superman flies in and saves the day, if that could always be a solution, it should always be the solution.
Right.
It shouldn't be
it rarely ever is. Like we go, and we do talk about this, logically dictate the fact that that is possible. Why didn't they make it? But very rarely does that ever happen, right? Like we see these movies and like, Ant-Man could have just crawled inside Thanos' ass and exploded and the whole fucking movie would have been over. But he didn't. Why not? Tony could have flicked him into his ear and that would have been the end of the fucking series. Right? But they didn't.
That's just they chose not to use that tactic. But like by definition, Ant-Man couldn't just come in and be like, I am Ant-Man and you have no chance of defeating me. Whereas Captain Marvel could have done that.
Right.
Despite what strategy she used, she could have just flown right the fuck through him and it's over, right? So like if you have a universe, you have an overpowered player, there's no solution that threatens the whole universe that you shouldn't be using that overpowered player. Yeah. Whereas, like, I get it. If you've got a robber on 5th Street taking out a CVS, like, Superman's not going to fly in. You let the cops deal with that bullshit. But, like, if you've got somebody like, hey, we're going to nuke the world, Superman would be like, all right, this is one for me.
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm saying. So don't marry those two worlds together on a permanent basis. Have there be a wormhole that every once in a while Superman could fly through and help out. But for the most part, he's not really available. That leaves you open to writing better stories that are more
and I think together. The one way they will get around a lot of this is they're still taking the Avengers very cosmic, so they're off-world a lot. Do you know what I mean? So the X-Men are very grounded to Earth and dealing with bullshit that's happened there. The Avengers aren't always there. Like the whole team isn't there. They're off in the galaxy solving shit in other places. So maybe they're not always available. Like that would be the only way to be able to marry.
Their excuse was Captain Marvel.
Right, she was on the other end of the universe.
Sorry, I was busy.
I was busy. Like nothing's more important
than your homeworld.
So,
not just your homeworld. Like this guy's here, ending half the universe.
Yeah.
Whatever you were doing was not ending half the universe.
You were bad at priorities.
You were really not good at prioritizing. You were dealing with a little skirmish between two groups of people. He's ending half the universe.
Get your priorities in order.
Fucking let's go, lady.
So I think that part of those things. So first of all, let's talk about the multiverse. The only reason why the multiverse was created is to have write-offs. So why wasn't this?
Yes, you have to adhere to canon.
So there's no such thing, right? Like this was just created to kind of get around things. Because at the end of the day,
canon.
right? Because at the end of the day, X-Men, Avengers.
Yeah, DC did the same thing.
Hold on.
We want to tell stories.
They're all part of the same universe. There is no. They're all part of the same universe. Always have been. Always have been.
I mean,
in the comics, you mean?
Yes, there was only one universe. That's it, right? That's when they were all created. They're all created part of the same thing.
Yeah.
Because Marvel doesn't own the X-Men rights at that time, Sony did. They needed to create other things. So the way that they got around with, how do we bring them in? Oh, it's a multiverse.
Fox did.
Well, I'm sorry.
I'm just stopping the comments. I'm just stopping the comments.
Yeah, facts. Fox owned X-Men, so they couldn't use them. So now it's like, well, how do we bring these characters back in? Well, we'll just introduce the concept of a multiverse, and now we can bring them in. So that's the reason why. Okay, so let's just start there. Having them all in the same universe absolutely fucking works, because just like the comics, they don't have to be part of it. You can have them in the same universe now. And having them, your whole idea is leave X-Men by itself and the Avengers by itself, and they can absolutely be in the same shit.
Okay, let me.
They just don't need to be.
The hard argument is the way you get caught up in
point.
the argument is logic. Logically, Bruno's right. If this bullshit, if Magneto's ending the world, the Avengers are going to help stop it because it's their world too.
Right,
in the comics, that didn't happen. Very rarely. Sometimes it would. They do some crossovers.
Oh, no, they absolutely did. I mean, Spider-Man was part of the fucking Fantastic Four.
Right, but I'm saying, like, on average, like an X-Men comic, new X-Men, you didn't see Captain America jump in.
No, they had their own stories. Yeah, they had their own stories. You had a couple crossovers.
That worked that way, but that's not logical, right? Like, but we're trying to introduce logic into a world of people flying around with capes and magic hammers.
Couple quick comments. So when they initially wrote comics in the 50s, 60s, 70s, they were like, look, people reading this stuff right now are 15-year-old boys. They'd be like, we can write whatever the fuck we want. Superman died like 3 times, and you can do anything, okay? Now we're not in that world anymore. We're in a world where these characters are global. Everybody in the world knows who Superman is, Spider-Man, Stark. Like, Iron Man was kind of a secondary B-list character until Marvel picked him up. I think he kind of was.
He was.
Anyway,
he was.
No, he wasn't.
Either way,
Iron Man, he was not necessarily a dollar bin, but he was not one of their main players.
Yeah,
he was the main fucking Avenger.
No.
He was part of the originals.
Yeah, he was, but like even back then, he was not the main draw.
All right, but that's not my point.
Okay,
we can go over that.
Yeah.
But all right, so here's the point. Is what I'm saying is, you were in the other room and I was saying this before. Marco, what we were talking about, like if you bring this whole thing together and you've got a guy like Superman in the world, if the small shit is happening, you don't need Superman. The big shit that goes down that is threatening the world, you need a Superman to come in and help with that. There's no reason why you wouldn't. Right? So if you've got a Superman player, you should use a Superman player to prevent the world-ending stuff.
Yeah.
And so now you've got to think, all right, I'm Marvel. I own all this stuff. How am I going to write a story that I'm not going to bring in the most, Captain Marvel into everything? And because the stories that they're writing are like, this is a major thing. That's how we're going to get the audience to believe it.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, with these big movies, they're not doing little short
there's a guy holding up the CVS. They're talking about Thanos wants to destroy half the universe. So that's when you need to bring a Captain Marvel in. So it was logically weird that they didn't, and then they're like, all right, now we own this right, we can use it.
Yeah.
And she was off world.
And that's how you write that.
But if you do that every time, you're like, all right.
No, but maybe the story is,
if you didn't have to.
Maybe the story is like when they start doing, let's say, X-Men movies, whatever, they're going to come up with some pretty badass stories, but the villain's not trying to end the world. right? They're just trying to do something that's
But you
enough
gotta have
street
high
level that you
stakes.
don't have to bring Thor in to solve
You gotta
it.
have high stakes. I hear you.
I mean,
still have high
wait,
stakes, but it
hold
doesn't have
on,
to be
because
world-ending stakes.
every other movie that we've seen outside of the Thanos thing, there was no, we're gonna
Yes, it
end the
was.
world.
Eternals wasn't let's end the world.
Okay, so where the fuck was everybody then on Eternals? And you do that
Exactly
same thing.
right. That's my point.
That-
Where the fuck was everybody else?
Didn't they explain it?
I think
think
so.
at one point there was like a throwaway line of
Terrible,
why the Avengers didn't, like, they were disbanded or
Why
some shit.
nobody was
And there was
there.
nobody help. Nobody showed up for that.
You just made my point. Like,
Yeah, no, I agree with
if
you.
you bring them all in now, that problem only gets worse, right? Now you have all these other guys you could call on.
I agree
So I'm
with
saying
you,
make
but
it
they've
easier
kind of
yourself, Marvel.
like Larry said,
Keep
they've already
them
had that.
separated. I hear you.
Like, like Larry said, they've already had that issue, right? Like, you've already had it. Once
Yeah,
you
they
got
wrote
through
it
the
off
first
poorly,
set,
right?
once you got through the first Avengers movie, right, and then you had the next set of movies, which were like individualized movies, like even Winter Soldier. Not everybody showed up to deal with it. Like,
Because
the
not
other-
everybody needs to.
Yeah,
I mean,
it
not
was
everybody needs
a
to shut
great
for Ultron.
movie.
Not
but when
everybody-
you've got-
It was a great movie, but like, you didn't need Stark, you didn't need Hulk, you didn't need everybody to help and show up for
Sure,
that.
it would have been great because Ultron was trying to blow up everything. Like,
Well, in Ultron they did. They brought everybody in.
all of that.
I mean,
I'm just
It was
saying.
an Avengers movie.
I'm just saying,
2.0.
if you're going to write a superhero movie, you've got to have a world-ending event or a major catastrophe to happen. And if that's the case, there's no reason to call in the biggest guns you can carry,
Yeah.
right? So
do they
just
save?
logically, it's hard.
Do they save those giant world-ending or universe-ending events for like the main
Do you
Avengers
want to
versus
watch
X-Men movie?
an Avengers movie where like there's an evil corporation poisoning someone's water and they just got to solve this problem? Like,
No,
that's
bring
not
Aaron Brockovich
interesting
for that. I don't give a
to
fuck.
those. But you understand what I'm saying, right? Like, you've got to come up with bigger problems, and that's fine. I love them; they're great movies. But
there has to be some
You're making the
street-level
writing more
movies.
difficult if you
Sure,
get everybody.
but doesn't it get tiring if every fucking movie is a world ending? If every time there's
Yep,
going to be a
that's
big
why
giant
we're all
celestial
tired
hand
of it.
sticking out,
Yeah.
right? So they have to go back to street level stuff, like the new Daredevil, Born Again.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fucking awesome, right? It's just street level Daredevil
Better be.
shit,
Yeah.
and I don't need Avengers to jump in
That's
on
great.
this.
That's
Punisher
great.
can jump in. You can even bring a
Punisher was
Spider-Man
amazing.
into that because
Super.
they teamed up a lot, right?
Yeah, yeah,
like, I'd be
100%.
totally cool with that, but I don't need to
Kingpin.
see
Yeah.
Thor and Hulk and everybody jump into that fight. I don't.
Totally.
You know what I mean? So
That
if
would
they
be
can do more
using a
shit like that,
hammer.
I'd be cool with that.
When all you need is a pencil, right? Totally, I agree with you completely. What I'm saying is, it would be great to keep these. If you put a wall between those two universes, your writing becomes so much easier. Like, you can come up with a reason why these guys aren't around, but like half the time you're like, really? Kind of like when we were like, Captain Marvel's busy.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean,
But that was a universe ender.
So you'll get less of that. Oh Jesus!
But that was a universe ending threat.
Right, but now here's the thing, though.
So yeah,
that-
you don't have her, and that's
but-
fucking stupid.
Yeah,
But-
you'll
but I
have
feel
less
so-
of
But like what's his name? It was a Fisk like fucking up some stuff in New York. I don't need Captain Marvel to solve
Totally.
that problem.
Yeah, that's what Daredevil was
But
for.
it still made a
but
fucking
now,
good show.
But now by creating the multiverse and bringing people like the X-Men, because now you have the rights, now you can use them. I don't think it's going to be so much like every fucking movie is going to be an Avengers / X-Men movie.
Till you're
But now-
90.
Till you're 90.
It's gonna be all the
I just
time.
think that now it's like, now we have them. We are going to use them. We're going to sprinkle them in, and then the next big bad, which is Doom,
Mm-hmm.
we're going to see them all, and then this is going to be the big world-ending event where you're going to see everybody, but now they've introduced everybody, and then you can kind of...
Well, like I said,
separate
they're
that.
most likely going to be collapsing the multiverse.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's
all right.
now you're going to kind of get rid of some of
So,
this shit.
So now it's
here's
gonna
my
be
thing.
happening.
This is a bigger conversation because when you think about it, Superman is a terrible superhero, right? You never want to write a Superman story because there's no problem he
Yeah, I
can't
mean,
solve.
he's God. He's
There's
the
no
he's the
problem.
Jesus figure. Yeah.
Yeah, and so and Captain Marvel is their Superman, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how do you write a story with those characters in your universe? The solution is do not have them in your universe. The X-Men universe as a standalone was great because there were no massively powerful things. There were guys that was more powerful, like Magneto, super powerful because he controlled.
all mutants,
It's pretty
so-
powerful. But like Professor X, whatever. But like even those guys might have been a little bit OP.
Yeah.
So you've got to come up with solutions. It's like remember the old cartoon in the '80s when like that Iceman and
Spider-Man and his Amazing Friends.
and Amazing Friends,
Yeah.
right? Those guys like, look, I can shoot ice. Cool. Good luck with that. Like, I can make fireballs.
Good luck
and
with
I'm
that.
Spider-Man, right? And you're like, great. These guys are not OP. Whatever problems they have, they're going to do the best they can. They're going to get defeated. They're going to win some. They're going to lose some. That's a story. You can write that story. But if Superman was like, I was in the neighborhood, I just rounded up all the bad guys for you. You're good for another couple months. Until
going on that,
so that's
though,
boring.
hold on. But in that, right? That was in the X-Men universe.
Superman?
No. The Superman's a completely different story.
Stop with Superman.
I'm just
Spider-Man and but Spider-Man and Super Friends. That was the X-Men universe.
It's Amazing Friends.
Amazing Friends, whatever.
Super Friends was DC.
Oh, they just whatever. So they made Spider-Man and Amazing Friends. That was in the X-Men universe.
All I'm saying is make your life easier. Like, I'm always talking about how bad the writing is, right? And all I'm saying is make the writing easier for yourself, God damn it. Don't have superheroes that could solve the problem with a snap.
But
Because then you got to come up with a reason that everybody's going to groan
But
at.
what I'm saying is, even with or without the X-Men in this universe, it doesn't matter. You still have that issue. If you make another Iron Man movie,
X-Men in their own world.
No, but I'm saying, if you make another Iron Man movie, I thought
He just doesn't want to see a crossover.
But let's just say you make another Iron Man movie, and what is the story that has to be where you don't need the other Avengers to come in and help him? Like, they're already part of his team, but you can make another, and they're going to make, like, we're going to have an Iron Heart movie. We're going to have, different, there's a lot of stuff on the slate, right? That's individualized characters. Well, okay, we're going to write stories, but we don't need to bring in everybody every time.
Sure, and they're probably not global.
Why can't they just be, now we have X-Men doing the same thing?
Global level events.
Right. Why can't you have X-Men do the same thing in their movie?
You just don't. You don't need to make them global events.
Yeah. You could.
And when you do, then you can introduce them.
It's a harder thing to write, and I don't have a lot of confidence in the writing.
Well, that's what it is.
Then that's where
That's really a lot. You should have confidence in their writing.
But also, even a good writer is going to struggle writing a Captain Marvel movie.
Yeah, since Endgame, it's been touch and go.
Tough.
Yeah.
It's been touch and go. I agree. Did we ever get through the last of What If? Did we finish?
No,
the
they fucking ended.
We hardly got onto episode 7.
Well, there it is.
Yeah, 7 and 8, he gets watched. Now it's become, now they're all kind of
all
watchers.
fighting.
And then they're all super powered.
Yeah, and that was crazy.
And then they killed Carter. Yay!
Yeah, right? Carter's dead.
I've been waiting for Carter to die.
You
since,
fucking loved Carter.
No, I did.
Me?
I was pissed.
Me?
I was pissed she died.
I
understood why they had
fucking
to kill her
hated
off, but
Carter.
I was pissed.
I was surprised.
You didn't like her.
I was surprised.
I
that they killed
fucking
her.
hated her. No, I thought she
Why
was
did
a
you hate her?
boring character. They never made her interesting. She's just she's just Steve Rogers, but
Steve Rogers
British
is
and a
pretty
woman.
one-dimensional, too.
And and especially season 2, like the ending, they're like, rah, let's give her all this junk to be super more powerful. Like
What are you doing? Are you going to go back and listen to the episode while we're doing this?
I just think she's
she
so
may have.
fucking
I
annoying.
was all over Captain Carter.
No, the thing is, probably when we first went over it, I was like, oh, she's nice, it's cool,
Oh, yeah, you both were.
Yeah, no, the thing is, no, listen, Larry, I'm acknowledging, when season 1 came out,
I was doing research on our show while we're recording our show.
I was like, look, this is a cool new idea. I kind of liked this. I liked the animation. I liked that they brought in different the voice actors for most of them.
The idea of it was awesome.
It was a cool idea, Starting season, but once I saw that she was they made an event, a group, and she's the leader of it, I was like,
yeah, but Cap was the leader of the Avengers, so it makes sense.
Right, yeah. But I'm like, okay.
At least did everybody appreciate the woman power in the group?
Yeah.
Did they bother making her interesting?
No, that the group was all women.
I didn't.
That's true. Yeah,
the team is all women.
Oh, I noticed right away. I was like, oh, okay.
I noticed right away too.
I didn't have. I thought they were all
problem
cool
with it. It's just it goes back to my equality thing of okay, if it was all guys, the internet would have blown up with bullshit.
It's the whole doing things just to do things to please people instead of doing things to create.
I want to counter. I want to counter.
Throw one dick in there. I don't give a shit. Just one.
I want to counter this.
The women
doesn't have to be a sausage.
She wants to counter this.
I did not have a problem with this because it wasn't a shoehorn.
Yes.
This wasn't a shoehorn. We can't say, it's a shoehorn because all 4 of them are women.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
the amount of 4 guys, no one would bat an eye. No one gives a shit.
Yeah.
Captain Carter would always be the one in charge just because they've done that since the beginning.
Which I would appreciate, yes.
Fine, But the thing is, no one would bat an eye if it was all 4 guys. When it is a shoehorn, is in Endgame when they were like, ta-da!
The women power,
they're
yeah.
all women.
And they all come charging, yeah.
That was a shoehorn, and that was fucking annoying.
This felt very much the same.
No, it
To me,
didn't.
it totally
because
felt the same.
because two of the characters
whole
we'd seen.
episode was about the women.
Listen.
No, but like they were building this team over the course of the
kidding.
series, the season especially.
Just kidding.
And from the last season to this season, they're
it's
building
a what
this
if,
team.
okay?
Yeah.
What
It could
if?
go either
What
way.
if it was
listen.
equality?
Three of them.
2 guys and 2 girls.
Listen.
Or
We represent
a range of people.
I don't know, man. I think
Hey.
it's okay.
And a duck.
And a duck.
Three of them
The ducks.
we know already. The fourth one was fucking Thorstorm, which was awesome.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that was good.
Birdie was actually kind of cool. Storm was a badass. Captain Carter's.
Birdie was to me was like. That was not the throwaway character. It was like
But they
that was
already
a
brought her
shoehorn.
in. She was one of the new ones. They've done that every season.
But
They've brought someone in
They
from
literally
the
introduced
new
her.
shit.
Technically, in that last episode, she was a baby in the series.
Yeah.
With the
Okay.
with the ducks.
They did
And
that
now
with the
all of a
other
sudden
seasons.
She's older now, and she's part of the team.
They did that with the other seasons with like bringing in other people.
I didn't have any issue with it.
I noticed that it was all women. I didn't think it was a shoehorn because I was like, okay, yeah. Cool. They're all like their own characters. They're individuals.
That was fucking horrible.
That was a shoehorn.
That was fucking
This
horrible.
felt fine.
I had no issue. I was like, okay, cool, yeah. They're all women.
I was bummed that Captain
and they're
Carter
also
died,
interesting, like
Yeah, me
characters
too.
we'd seen before. And they were interesting. You know? I know when it's a shoehorn. That wasn't a shoehorn.
That was a good way to die.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Sorry. She went out in a blaze of glory.
Yeah. That was pretty fucking.
I'm glad they got rid of her eventually. Because
I'm surprised.
she was never interesting to me. I was like, okay.
Don't make Larry listen to our episode, please.
Cap's pretty
It's
boring,
already an
too.
hour and 25 minutes into this.
I know we gotta get going.
I don't have time for Larry to go back and listen
Yeah.
to our episode.
Look, again, Larry, you can pull up receipts about what I said about her, and like when she first showed up, I was probably like, oh wow, that's neat, but like a growing thought in my head as it went on.
I just like that you've evolved.
I got really pissed off that her character didn't grow, wasn't interesting, didn't flesh out. Yeah.
You grew as an adult.
Yeah, but you
Yes.
shouldn't be surprised by that.
Yeah.
Captain America's boring. Captain One Dimensional. The male version. Like they're all.
All right, I'm like, okay, yeah, she's still like, yeah, and Steve Rogers, they introduced his character and he grew a little bit. He never actually grew after that either. You know?
He's one-dimensional.
So that was my biggest gripe with her. I was like, okay, she's the one that's gonna be really awesome. She's just Steve Rogers.
I liked it.
She's the same person.
She was a badass. I think that was fine. I like that it didn't feel forced. I felt like
It didn't feel forced to me.
a naturally put together team.
I'm glad they killed Captain Carter though. It's about time.
When he
It's
was
about
like,
time.
when he was like, oh, she's gone, I was like, no, you didn't just kill her. Fuck.
Yeah, I was
I was like,
She was good. She represents justice and glory.
Yeah, I know. I was upset too.
What I thought was really dumb was when it was a good solution for him to be like, everybody say the oath and you'll become watchers.
Yeah.
But like, it's just that easy.
That was so stupid.
Super fucking simple.
Yeah.
All right. But then I was like, fine. All right. Now
the oath.
you're watchers.
I said the magic words.
And then I said it.
In brightest day.
Bibbidi bobbidi boo.
Mato, Verata. So they said
He
the
missed
words.
the bus. We missed the bus. When's the next bus?
Visa Cardis, MasterCardis.
Master Charger.
So they all became watchers.
Oh, the little Meridians.
And then they all had this stupid battle that made no sense because you can't hurt anybody once you're a watcher.
Yeah.
Like they're just like, I'm gonna beat you against the wall. I'm gonna catch you up in this cyclone tornado and then throw you on the
That was
ground.
fucking endless
Even
fight.
though smashing a planet on your face didn't do anything.
You're
so
all fifth dimensional beings.
Yeah.
How could this possibly even end?
it was a dumb. I hate those battles. Like unbeatable things that just fight each other makes no sense to me.
I'm like,
Yeah, because
awesome.
nobody can win.
So
cool.
you can't win. There's no. There are no.
It should be like a
stakes.
Sisyphus type thing,
There are
where
no
it's like,
stakes
okay,
here.
we're just gonna fight
Yeah.
forever. You know,
Yeah.
die on the hill.
But they all spun
Do
together.
it again.
And-
Yeah, but then when they went up, like, I didn't teach you everything. This one death move.
Yeah, we're
Like,
just
super
spinning.
death move.
The spinning
death
They got the
move.
buttons in the right order. Like they smashed the
You're
buttons in the
telling
right order.
me.
What the hell
They
is
used
that?
the R2 plus the L1.
Left, right, up, down, up, down.
That was so
ABDA.
funny. I'm like, what the fuck?
This one spinning death move can kill watchers because they're all watchers now. Yet Captain Carter's will to win and survive is what allowed her to
like, brother, are you serious?
Reconstitute her hand and then shoot up and destroy them.
Like, all right, buddy.
What?
Yeah. It was just.
They're
in the writer's room like, oh fuck, what do we do? How do we get out of this?
You know what?
That's what I'm saying. Like, how do you write impossible scenarios? How do you win?
You know what pissed me off, I think, starting season 2 with her? I think my gripe in season 2 was that she was becoming the perfect character. She had, like, obviously Captain America was not different.
I get it, you hate women.
But, like, you're right, I hate that. No. No,
she loved the group.
It was just... She was like, she
not
could
shoehorned.
do no wrong. And that was an issue that I had with like a lot of characters.
What kind of wrong would you expect her to do?
Captain Carter. She's not Captain. She's
Captain. Still, though,
she's
Captain
British,
Britain.
Captain Britain, all right.
I don't know. No, you know what? I just don't like her. I just didn't think she was likable, but... You know, whatever.
That bitch.
That bitch. No, like she wasn't. She was just so lackluster. Her only character like trait was that she was the leader of the group, and that was honestly it.
And she had the shield of justice.
The shield of justice.
Dun, 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 dun. Yeah.
Awesome.
No.
All right. So overall, what do we think of the series?
No.
Well, let's start with the season. Season. Is everybody seen all 3 seasons, right?
It was my least. No.
2.
2 was my least favorite season.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I that's my rating for the season.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
My rating for the season was a 2.
Yeah, that's harsh.
Yeah, that's harsh.
There was only like one episode that I liked.
Yeah, I'm more 3.5.
I'll go 2.75.
There you go.
I'll give like a.
I'm 3.5.
There are
like
a couple that were
1 3/4.
watchable.
Did you say 1 3/4?
1 3/4.
Okay.
Wow.
All right.
I don't know. I almost didn't even have fun with this. I was just watching it and I was like, oh, like what is going on? Like I'm not having fun. Like in most of them or most of the time, I'm not having fun. The rip-offs. It's not funny. Yeah. Like I was just
they
like
kind of lost their way.
Yeah, and I'm like,
glad it's over.
I'm tired. I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, for me,
2 was my
was
least favorite season. 3 after that, and then number 1. First season was my favorite.
First season was my favorite too because they didn't get too deep with it.
For me, it goes 1 best, then 2, then 3. I think.
1 and 2, then 3. Yeah, I'd say that.
1, 3, 2.
Because 3 just had like such few redeeming qualities.
There was a lot in part 2 that I didn't like.
I think part 2 was my least favorite
it's
finale.
marginal. It's like 1 was here, then 2, 3.
Yeah, like
finale-wise, it was like 1, 3, 2.
Yeah, I can see going either
2, 3,
way.
3, 2. Overall, I don't know. Maybe like I think I want to give it like a 2.5, 2.75 overall series because 1 was good.
I'm there too. Yeah.
Like I'm glad it's over.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Fucking
for the whole
glad
show.
Yeah, I'm glad it's over.
I think it could have been done
anymore.
That was the best news I got.
Yeah, oddly enough, even though I enjoyed it, I am glad it's over.
Yeah.
I'm kind of glad it's like, all right, we can kind of put this to rest. We don't need to keep seeing this. Because it was such a, like, 3 seasons of basically one story.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it really just kind of kept through one story almost.
That's not bad, though. I mean, if you want to create, like, a full season arc, okay, you know, that's not a bad thing. It's just, you got to do what ifs that make sense, that are actually what ifs and not imagined.
Yeah, no, I mean, I would have also been very happy with going back to what Larry's saying is each individual episode was just a single one-off what if.
Yeah.
Didn't need a big story arc.
That's what I thought it was going to be.
That's what I thought so too originally. Then eventually after the first season, we're like, all right, this is a story arc. They're fucking going with this. Like everything is kind of tying in, and the watchers bring it all together to the whole thing, and realizing they had to tie it to the multiverse stuff that they're going on through the movies because that's what they're doing. Like there isn't much of any of their stuff right now, or has been for a long time, that doesn't tie everything together.
Right,
which, you know, again, we've talked about that. It's really hard to do because if you're just jumping in, you got like 20 years of shit to go back and watch now. You know what I mean? It's tough. It's real tough.
And I think they're trying to tie it all in right now so they can wrap it all up with a nice happy little bow.
Yeah.
And not leave any loose ends and go, we're fucking done with this multiverse shit.
Yeah. And you know, they definitely had a lot of hiccups and bumps along the road. You know, I'm glad they got away from the Jonathan Majors stuff. Like I didn't really find that character very compelling. You know what I mean? Not just him particularly. I don't really care, but like just that whole Kang the Conqueror stuff was it just wasn't going well. It wasn't going
especially once the actor gets.
Yeah, no, but I mean, like even before that, like just the Quantum Mania and so I was like, cool. I don't really care. And like Kang's a really fucking huge villain. I just don't care enough about him.
I remember
because they didn't set him up. They didn't set him up well.
They didn't set him up well, no.
They didn't
but
do
I
any
never really cared about him. Even in the
precursors.
comics,
Yeah.
I never really.
Yeah, but you can write him to be
never
more
one of my-
interesting. You can write him to make it, introduce his. So like the problem was Kang the Conqueror is one-dimensional. Thanos was good because you could kind of get behind. Like, yeah, he's kind of got a point. Like that's a solution to the problem. Like, maybe not the greatest, but like.
That was better written because that's not the original reason why he did it.
Well, yeah, no, it's not.
The real
but
reason.
All right.
The other reason was
yeah.
kind of dumbass reason. So
Yeah, he wanted to impress Lady Death.
yeah, that's
That's
not
it.
one that.
That's
I
it.
don't know.
Which they waited till Agatha to introduce. So like it was, too late.
Wait,
anyway,
now?
yeah.
Yeah, but at the end
She's
of the
an
day,
Agatha,
what
yeah.
they did
Oh,
was
shit.
they wrote a complex character.
yeah.
Villains are not like I'm evil because I am evil.
Aubrey
They're-
Plaza
they're-
is
every
show.
villain.
She plays Lady
She
Death.
put. Oh my god, that's awesome.
Every
Side.
villain feels like they're doing something that is correct. There's is right. That there's a reason they're
Yeah.
motivated.
Well, that's the main. That's like a good villain, right?
That's what I'm saying. So you could write Kang like that and make it be more interesting. Have
Yeah.
him, have some motivations that we can all relate to, and then you're like, yeah, I get where he's coming from. I totally understand that. Then you could make it interesting. But if it's just like, I'm just ruling the world and I want to come and destroy the universe, like nobody understands what the fuck motivation that is. Like nobody here is powerful
But
enough
honestly,
to do
though, it was all multiverse stuff, and they
boring.
And they started with this multiverse because, like I said, is they were looking to how do we introduce these other characters into our timeline, and how do we explain away where they were during these big events like Thanos ruling the world?
Yeah.
Like, how do we?
You gotta
how do we get
explain it
around
away,
that?
and that's hard.
And the way that they decided to do it was they were going to do, we'll choose a multiverse. Okay, well then we have to create. Well, how was the multiverse created? Like, so that's what. So they basically wrote themselves into a corner.
Yeah.
But I mean-
Instead of just coming out with just different stories, going, because they knew that people were like, well, why weren't you around? Instead of just going, because it's a different fucking story. It's
But I
easier
mean,
to say it's a
going
different
back to what
universe.
Bruno was
Yeah.
saying, they can do exactly what Bruno was saying because they've already did it. Deadpool and Wolverine is exactly what Bruno said. Deadpool and that Wolverine exist in a different timeline.
Yeah.
And they were going to converge. He was going to jump over. They offered him to go to the sacred timeline, and he saved his timeline, which is where the X-Men exist.
Yeah.
And that particular one is also the Logan timeline, so it's further ahead, and Logan's dead. But now you got a new Wolverine from a very different timeline in that one.
Now there's
And
two
that's
Wolverines
it.
at the same time.
That's
Well,
not
one's
a
dead, one's
bad.
alive, right?
It wasn't a perfect movie, but it's not a bad solution.
No, you're right. He jumps ahead and goes to that Logan.
Yeah, there's
But he knew it
there's
was that- it was
there's
his
two
timeline,
Logans.
yeah.
But now there's two Logans in that same timeline.
Yeah. They're going to have to correct that.
We'll find out.
We'll find out.
See
I'm
how
sure we will.
The best was the
plays out.
tiny little Logan.
Yes, the comic book accurate. Look
God,
at you,
that's
little
That was
Harry
funny.
Lou Retton. That was awesome. Harry Lou Retton was great. Calverine.
Cavalry.
That was awesome.
Got a lot of anger.
That's really good.
Wow, 136, huh?
136. All right. Have we chewed the fat on that?
I
What
think
if
so,
and
man. Like,
Yeah.
fuck
the rest
what
of the
if.
Marvel
Yeah.
stuff? All right. Awesome.
What if we never did this episode?
But there it
Good
goes.
riddance.
Just kidding. All right. Thank you, Mila.
Thank you.
Thank you, Larry.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bruno.
I'm not a god, and neither are you. Watu the Watcher.
There it is.
Whoa!
Ladies and gentlemen, we are Entertainment Rants at entertainmentrants.com. Find us online. Let us know what you thought of What If Season 3. All right? We're on out of here. We'll see you guys in the next episode. Gang, what are we going to go do?
Rant, let's rant.
Let's rant.